with the hashtag CityCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
It's fast approaching 7 o'clock. City Business News is next. It's brought to us by MTN and Goyle. And Nashika Caesar is here with the news. Yes, clear your throat is very important. People even clear their throat before they rap, you know. So.
It's very necessary.
Good morning, Nat.
Good morning, Bernard. Hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of the City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goyle, and powered by your most comprehensive business news website, citybusinessnews.com. Coming up, economist Dr. Patrick Isumin tasked government to prudently manage its finances as the Bank of Ghana indicated its commitment to zero financing of this year's budget. And also, Chamber of Petroleum Consumers COPEC urges oil marketing company Goyle to resolve its supply challenges across the country. The details. The Bank of Ghana's recent announcement that it has reached an agreement with the Finance Ministry to commit to zero financing of this year's budget presents an opportunity for the managers of the economy to reflect on how the country handles its financing issues. This is according to economist Dr. Patrick Isumin. The central bank's announcement is a precondition for the country to secure a fund program from the IMF. The move is also expected to trigger a disinflation path and downward trend in the policy rate, as well as restore the country's reserve buffers to at least 3 months of import cover by the end of 2025. Dr. Patrick Isumin has been speaking to City Business News.
Generally, it doesn't sound like a great idea to restrict this kind of financing to the government because we know unexpected events may happen and it can get into a crisis period where, you definitely need some form of bridge financing and you might fall on the central bank. But the way we have handled is the financing, the central bank financing of the government leaves much to be desired. And you can understand why the IMF will insist on this. Because, the central bank has been printing money for the government to spend and then turn around to raise the policy rate to mop up the excess liquidity, further squeezing the private sector. So I think, the indiscipline of the government, coupled with the inability of the central bank to assert its, independence and refuse to bow to the government is the reason why the IMF has insisted on this. Let's be clear. This is because the IMF is insisting on it. It's because the government has no option than to get the IMF deal. And it's doing all that it can in order to get the IMF deal. So it's here because of the fiscal dominance that we have complained about. And whether it will be sustainable or not, like I said, I suspect that they might put a small clause somewhere that will allow the central bank to self-finance the government in case of emergency.
Dr. Patrick Isumin is an economist. Now, an economist, Professor Godfred Bobkin, says it is unlikely that Ghana will be able to meet the 16% inflation rate being forecast for it. International ratings agency Fitch Solutions is projecting inflation for Ghana to average 16.0 in 2024. However, it is forecasting inflation to average 37.6% in 2023, higher than the 31.5% recorded in 2022. The country's inflation level spiraled in the last quarter of 2022, but has since seen a marginal decline. However, Professor Godfred Bobkin says despite the slowing on inflation, it will be difficult for the country's inflation to drop to the 16% being projected.
Probably we should be looking at maybe middle of May, towards the end of May, for us to have the IMF program. The question is, with that 5 months or so that is lost, with the program coming on board, we'll be able to drag down inflation from 52.8% end of February 2023 to about 18.9% as captured in government budget of 2023. Because the government is looking at reducing inflation to 18.9% end of December 2023. Now, to drag down inflation from 52.8% to 18.9% over 12 months or practically 7 months, tells you the level of adjustment and trade-offs that we have to go through. So it looks more likely that we may not be able to hit that inflation target. One way of doing that will be the pressure that is being brought to bear on Bank of Ghana to keep the policy rate elevated and probably towards 30%. We know the signal that the IMF has given in terms of not tolerating the monetizing of the fiscal deficit for Bank of Ghana. If they are able to do that, then there is considerable room for inflation to decelerate significantly. Achieving 16% 2024 looks more likely towards the end.
Professor Godfred Bobkin is an economist. Now, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, is urging oil marketing company GOIL to resolve its supply issues as some customers have been left stranded at various petrol stations throughout the country. Citi Business News has confirmed that this situation has persisted for several days. In an interview with Citi Business News, Duncan Amwa, the executive secretary of COPEC, expressed concern about the situation, but remained hopeful that GOIL would rectify the challenge soon.
If you are asking cash for gold for oil products, when the other traders could simply bring them products on credit, you would simply lead to market disruptions. I will not be surprised that at some point we abandon the program altogether, because it probably might not be bad if you look at the premise of it trying to sustain the Forex situation. But as to whether the module where you bring, there's so much documentation in order to be able to buy the product. Before that, you would also need to make available ready cash. The market does not operate that way. And those are some of the challenges that we have envisioned the Gold for Oil program could lead to. Market disruption is a natural thing, and I'm not sure the operators or the implementers would listen. But if they would, they need to tweak it a bit so that it suits the kind of market model. As to whether the kind of market model we also have, if you allowed the operators now to pick products and give them 60 days or 90 days, they would all come back with payment. Your guess would be as good as mine. And that is why we think that we would need to be very careful with that program altogether.
Duncan Amoa is the Executive Secretary of COPEC. Now, Polytank, a leader in the production of plastic water-shorted tanks and packaging products in Ghana, has unveiled its newest range of tank, christened Sumo Super. The Sumo Super is Africa's first 3-layer water-shortage tank, available in 9 vibrant colors to suit the preference of various consumers. Speaking during the unveiling ceremony in Accra, the Executive Director of Mohinani Group, Ashok Mohinani, said the new tank is made of innovative technology which will ensure the safety of consumers.
The product is revolutionary in its 3-layer tank technology. The tank has an inbuilt antibacterial prop to help protect against algae formations and other microbes. It has UV stabilizers, can withstand all weather conditions, and give a longer life to water storage tanks. The Tank 3-layer Sumo Super has unimaginable steadiness. This product is able to withstand a drop from 25 feet height without breaking or getting damaged. Let me say it's built strong to last strong. Over the years, our cherished customers have asked us why our tanks only come in one color. We heard our customers. This is why we, Sumo Tank Super, is being introduced in 9 colors. As well as you may well know, with over 300 distribution shops spread across every district in this country, this is a Sumo Super close to your doorstep. I urge you to visit our dealers and our shops after today to get one for your home, offices, and communities.
That was the Executive Director of Mohinani Group, Ashok Mohinani. Now, on the interbank foreign exchange market where banks trade amongst themselves, the dollar remained unchanged and is selling at 10 cedis 93 pesos. The British pound is selling at 13 cedis 60 pesos. It recorded no price change. The euro is selling at 12 cedis. It also recorded no price change. However, at some forex bureaus in the capital, the dollar is selling for 10 cedis 95 pesos, while the British pound is selling at 13 cedis 80 pesos, and the euro is selling for 11 cedis 90 pesos. Let's now join Gillian Hammer of Databank for part 2 of the topic, 10 tips for teaching your child about money.
As we focus on teaching our children about money, we will cover another 3 tips today. Remember, the first 4 were 1. Appeal to different learning styles. 2. Consider their age in your approach. 3. Find and use key teaching opportunities. And 4. Speak in familiar terms. Number 5 is teach one thing at a time. Focus each lesson on one key learning. For example, if you spend your money on this, you can't spend it on that. Then back it up with facts or a summary message. Number 6 is use memory aids. Finding ways to help your children remember their money lessons, whether it's an acronym or a list or a golden rule, can play a big part in making sure they take your teachings to heart. Number 7 is use the spend, save, and give tool. Simply get 3 clear plastic containers and label each one with either spend, save, or give. Then anytime your child gets money, be it a birthday gift, an allowance, or something else, encourage them to share the money between the 3 containers. You can encourage your child to put 10% in the give jar, and when it is full, it can be donated to church or a charity of their choice. The remaining money should be split between the spend and save containers. If your child is saving for something big, then he or she can place more money in that container.
That was Gillian Hammer of Databank. And that's it for the breakfast edition of the City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, GOIL, and powered by your most comprehensive business news website, citybusinessnews.com. My name is Nashika Caesar. Have a good business day.
I nearly gave up on driving out of frustration. What hadn't I done? Purging, replacing electrical parts, changing my fuel pump, and still, the engine noise in my car won't stop. Then I met this guy who said I should try GOIL Fuel. By the way, my name is Thomas. I did try GOIL Super XP Ron 95. Now my car is renewed. Yankonkwa!
GOIL stocks only higher grade fuels, further enriched with XP3, multifunctional enhancer, more efficient, eco-friendly, and at no extra cost. Available at every GOIL station. Ajibebia. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP. Higher grade fuels, excellent for modern engines and all vehicles. GOIL, good energy. Yeah,
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Let's go.
Can promise, and maybe me, I never see another girl like you. The way you move your body, me, I like you. Bad girl, come right on my back, yeah. Me feel it, say now.
12 minutes past 7, City Breakfast Show.
Yeah. Oh, baby, come.
But seriously, would a ban or a restriction on the exodus of health professionals work? Or any kind of professionals? Teachers, plumbers, accountants, or whatever group. I think for now the big group is the nurses, and Ghanaian nurses are doing very well in not just the UK and the US, but even in the Caribbean.
Yeah, them other girls.
Whilst in the UK there are calls for a limit to what they consider to be the targeting of countries like Ghana for professionals. Many health professionals actually want to go. So, if you're a health professional, tell me what you think. And if you look at the list, Ghanaian health professionals are in the top 10 of the nationalities. I think it's number 6 or 7 in the United Kingdom. So quite a lot of our people are working in the western part of the world. 054-998-6996. The number again is 054-998-6996. Meanwhile, Kickoff is brought to us by Lesheho For over a decade, we've been supporting the investment goals of our customers with attractive solutions. With easy access to track your funds, we offer flexible deposit products for 91-day, 182-day, and 365 days. Open a fixed deposit account with us or call 0577 707 700 and let's achieve your goals together. Let's share, let's improve life. And Shell has given you a way to go further and save money with the Shell Fuel Save. Its triple action formula improves engine efficiency, prevents deposit buildup, and protects your engine from wear and corrosion. It gives you extra clean, extra protection, and extra savings. Switch to Shell Fuel Save today because extra kilometers go a long way. So Benjamin Ketia is here with the sport. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning, Bernard. Let's get into the headlines. And Ghana's Black Queens, they secured the win in their international friendly against Senegal at the Accra Sports Stadium. Manchester City, they thrashed Bayern Munich in the first leg of the quarterfinals in the UEFA Champions League tonight. Real Madrid take on Chelsea, big game coming up. And in basketball, the Lakers, they secured the 7th seed in the Western Conference. Let's get into the details now. And Ghana's Black Queens, they secured another win over Senegal with a single goal from Evelyn Bedu at the Accra Sports Stadium following their 3-0 win over the same team in a previous friendly match. Now, the senior female national team, they used these 3 games to prepare for the 2023 WAFU B Cup of Nations and the 2024 African Women's Cup of Nations qualifiers. Black Queens head coach Nora Haptel, she expressed her satisfaction with the team's performance after the match.
I think all in the end, we deserve this victory. We also need to give the respect to Senegal. They just fight physically whatever they can. They hit, the netto playing time in the last game was maybe 40 minutes. So they take then the time on the ground and try to disturb our game. I think we had the patience also, and we knew that we have quality. And in the end, sometimes you play not so beautiful, but you still win, and this is also a very big quality.
So you have Black Queens head coach Nora Haptel speaking there. Let's get to some other stuff. And General Secretary for the Ghana Football Association, Prosper Harris-Engado, has told City Sports that the association is committed to providing the Black Meteors with the necessary resources for adequate preparation ahead of the Under-23 AFCON tournament in Morocco. Now, that tournament will happen in June. The team, led by coach Ibrahim Tanko, aims to qualify for the Paris Olympic Games next year, with Ghana hoping to make a return to the Olympics after 19 years. Harris-Engado expressed the association's determination to support the team to achieve their objectives.
That is the quest. The quest is to qualify to the Olympics game. And so you will see that the technical team, the FA and everybody is geared up in terms of the preparations to ensure that we present a good team, we give ourselves good preparations and be in the position to compete with the rest of Africa in terms of the other teams that will come. 3 slots are available and then one, let's say 50-50 slot. We want to take one of the 3 slots and so we must be ready. And like I said, immediately we qualified in Kumasi, the plans set off. And so the coaches know of this. They are monitoring the players. We are working very hard so that the players they will bring forward for us to get for the tournament. We would be able, through our engagement with their clubs, be able to get them so that they will have the best of preparations.
We had General Secretary for the Ghana Football Association, Prosper Harris-Engado, speaking there. Let's get to some other stuff. And former Ghana player Gordon Atram has expressed his support for Inaki Williams to replicate his Athletic Bilbao form for the Black Stars. Although Inaki is yet to score a goal for the Black Stars after switching nationalities from Spain, the striker recently scored a goal in Bilbao's La Liga win over Espanyol. In an interview with Citi Sports, Atram expresses optimism that the 29-year-old will soon score for the Black Stars despite his recent goal drought.
Iñaki is a real professional player. He has been playing his Bilbao for very long now. The pressure that is happening is coming now. He knows about it. and I'm very sure that he will try and make his own amends. But football, that we have to know, football takes time to adopt. What he's facing now is adaptation. It's not that Inyake is not good, because everyone has been watching him on telly, what he has been doing there. And now if he's joining Black Stars and things are not going well, as you people are saying, as Ghanaians are saying, for us, we that have played football before, and now as a technical man, we are not taking it that Inyake is not doing well. We know that it's all about adaptation. And with that, when he adopts very well and is used to the team, I'm sure all Ghanaians will see Inyake Williams.
We have former Ghana player Gordon Atram speaking there. Let's move on to some other stuff and some club news now. MTN FA Cup Committee Chairman Wilson Arthur, he has dismissed the notion that this season's final will not be exciting due to the early exit of top Premier League clubs. Now, despite the elimination of league leaders Aduana Stars in the quarterfinals, Arthur believes that the remaining teams, including Nswatraman, Dreams FC, Kim Faisal, and Sky FC, will still provide an entertaining competition.
If the big teams are the best teams, they will stay. Then they will get, just like last year, we had us in the final, isn't it? But this year, Dreams beat House of Folk at Accra Sports Stadium. Competitive match, they lost. So it means they are not the best team at the moment, isn't it? Kotoko lost to Aduana. So it means they are not the best team at the moment. And Aduana lost to Kimfiza. So that is it. So we get the winners. We always work with the winners, the best teams at the moment. So by divine design, what the teams we have now are the Kimfiza, Stratraman, Dreams FC, and Sky FC. And so we work with them. We don't have expectations. Whatever we get, we brand and we package and we sell. That's what. Why are we still hanging on big class? They go, they play my match. See the crowd that shows up. Are you happy with the crowd you are seeing? A big class school. Can we focus on? See, we need to focus on quality of the game. Okay, this competition is about the best team of the moment. This competition is about today, the best team on the day. That's how it is. So the best team on the day, and that is what it is. So we should be happy that we've had surprises. It's the nature of this competition because it's behind.
So you heard Wilson Arthur. He is chairman of the MTN FA Cup Committee. Let's now move over to Europe. Some interesting scores from last night's Champions League action. And let's do a quick recap of what happened yesterday. Manchester City, they were up against Bayern Munich at the Etihad. And in Manchester City, they made light work of Bayern Munich. Erling Haaland, Rodri are all getting in on the score sheet. 3-0 is how it ended in that first leg. Benfica were also at home when they took on Inter Milan. The Italians are getting a big result on the road. 2-0 is how they won that particular one. Let's get to the games for today. And Real Madrid will be up against Chelsea at the Santiago Bernabeu. Real Madrid defender David Alaba was asked if there's a chance that they will underestimate Chelsea based on their recent form.
We don't underestimate Chelsea. We know that they still have a great squad, a great team, and we have to be focused. We have to focus on ourselves, try to be very concentrated and press from the first minute on, and try to be successful tomorrow. They still have good players, a great squad, like I said, and a strong team. And changes they have done maybe in the last week can do some things too. And this is what we know. So we have to stay very focused.
So you heard Real Madrid defender David Alaba speaking there. Let's get to interim Chelsea manager Frank Lampard. He says he's looking forward to the test against the European champions.
I'm just very proud to come back, and manage the team at this time. I know I've managed in this competition before. I know I've managed against big teams in this competition before, so I'm not daunted at all. As a player, it was always the special competition. So to be here as a manager, particularly when a week ago, today even, I didn't know I'd be here, is a huge honour for me, of course. And was, a big part of my thought process of, taking on the challenge here. This is an amazing challenge for me personally, as well as obviously for us as a team and a club. I'm very looking forward to the occasion myself.
So you heard Frank Lampard, interim Chelsea manager. AC Milan will also be up at the San Siro when they take on fellow Italian side Napoli. Now, Napoli's Victor Osimhen, he will miss the first leg of the Champions League against AC Milan due to an abductor injury. Now, despite his excellent form with 25 goals in 29 appearances. So that's what's happening. Osimhen is a big miss for Napoli in that particular game. Let's do some handball. And the International Handball Federation Africa Zone 3 under 19 and under 17 ladies championships started yesterday and will end on the 15th. And it started at the Accra Sports Stadium with Ghana hosting 6 other nations including Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Togo, Benin, Nigeria, and Niger. Now, the tournament aims to develop handball players and officials at the juvenile stage, and the participating countries will compete for honors. President of the Ghana Handball Association, Nilante Banaman, expressed his excitement at the launch of the championship.
We are expecting that this particular tournament, because as this tournament is going on, in the mornings there is training for the coaches. So all the countries that are in have brought new coaches that they are developing to be trained. Ghana, we are giving 4 people to be trained so that they can impact on the game. Apart from that, after every day, the officiating officials also have their assessment. Because these are people that are being prompt to be officiating officials. So after every day, the officiating officials are assessed. They are given the opportunity to watch the videos of the various games, and they are corrected where they went wrong and all that. So it's a developmental process, not only for the players, but for the officiating officials, for the coaches, for the table delegates and all. So I see it as a big leverage, hosting it than participating in it in a different country.
You heard President of the Ghana Handball Association, Nilante Banaman, speaking there. Let's finish off with some basketball from the NBA. The play-in tournament has started. The Los Angeles Lakers, they have booked their place in this year's NBA playoffs, the 7th seed, after beating the Minnesota Timberwolves in overtime. 103-102 is how it ended. LeBron James coming to the party in that particular one. And also the Atlanta Hawks in the Eastern Conference, they have also picked up the 7th seed after beating the Miami Heat 116-105. So that's how it's played out in the play-in tournament so far. That's all for this morning's edition of Kickoff. My name is Benjamin Nketia. There's more sports at citysportsonline.com.
Extra, extra, let me tell you all about it.
Hey, Dolo Mystic. You and this your extra thing. Abeg, tell me about it.
Abenquine, look, extra is what you and your car get when you switch to Shell Fuel Save. Extra protection, extra clean, and extra savings. You get it?
Tell me extra.
Shell Fuel Save is designed to improve engine efficiency instantly, and with triple action formula that helps protect your engine from wear, corrosion, and deposits, so you get extra kilometers out of your drive.
Sir, and you're not extra, good for your engine. Extra, good for your pocket.
Extra kilometers goes a long way. Switch to Shell Fuel Save today. Go well.
Let's go.
If you need unique services, innovative financial solutions, we deliver on our promise, cause we are number one. Let's go, we improve your life.
Let's go. Hey mama.
Even when you're stuck with nothing,
come to Let's go.
No matter your situation,
come to Let's go.
Let's go, we improve your life.
Let's go. Let's go. Hey mama.
Let's go, we improve your life.
Let's go Savings and Loans. Let's improve life.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
marrying the city's most beloved billionaire. She believed she had hit the jackpot and was on her way to live the soft life she always dreamt of. But that's when it gets darker.
And I'm not sure say your husband to go hobby if you hear the filler way I get for your dog.
I still have your underwear in my office drawer.
Watch Adipa as she navigates the glamorous and gloomy world of the rich and powerful in the all-new drama series, The Billionaire's Wife. The Billionaire's Wife, only on Showmax. Sign up at showmax.com.
Everybody follow not sa malaria. A treating till no not now. Won't malaria too. Popo. What really the? I want the no not. A dabaco. No not. A damian no not. A damian sa. No not. No not. Scatter malaria. Lonat, it is scatter malaria.
A quality product from Blaze GVS Pharma. Yenshishemu who se malaria wa wumujum ansana wanum lona. Na nam yensearch na malaria no daso wo hwa ko hu dokota.
This advert is FDA approved.
Yes, it's Nasco Small Appliances Flash Sales Promo. You stay in or get outside. Happy times with your family, picnics, and more. Get go with the iconic Nasco Small Appliances. Your Nasco Kettle, 99 Ghana cedis. Blenders, 279. Nasco Coffee Maker is going for 139 Ghana cedis. Portable Dry Iron, 99 Ghana. Portable Water Boiler, 129 Ghana cedis. Standing Fan, 299. High Quality Popcorn Maker, 259 Ghana cedis. You can take these anywhere as a joyous festive season awaits Ramadan and Easter. Blenders Sandwich Maker. Yes, it is love from Nasco. And for those who want to stay indoors this season, go for your Nasco TV, AC, fridges, washing machines, and more. The iconic Nasco Small Appliances will take you everywhere.
Call 024-243-9437.
It's creamy plus, delicious milk. Creamy plus for you.
Creamy Plus is a delightfully delicious option whenever and wherever the occasion calls for milk. For your quick meals on the go or quality time at the dining table, jazz up your favorite Gary soakings, mashed kinky, cereals, and all hot and cold beverages with a creamy, protein-rich, healthy option of milk. Creamy Plus evaporated milk with vegetable fat is all you need to stay on the go. Creamy Plus evaporated milk is now available in a shop near you.
For bulk purchases, please contact Les Farm Distributors at Medina Ritz Junction on 0501 682 522, or Grace has found us at Akoko Photo Dansoman on 0245 162 747.
Creamy plus for you.
Creamy Plus evaporated milk.
This message has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Health Tidbits is brought to you by the Nyaho Medical Center.
Welcome to Nyaho Health in the City. Today we start discussing some common diseases and infections in children. Chickenpox is a viral infection caused by the varicella zoster virus. It is highly contagious and commonly affects children. Symptoms typically include itching, fever, and a blister-like rash that begins on the face, chest, and back, and then spreads to other parts of the body. The rash can be very uncomfortable and can last for up to 2 weeks. Chickenpox can also be life-threatening, especially in babies, pregnant women, and people with weakened immune systems. The best way to prevent chickenpox is through vaccination. The chickenpox vaccination is safe and effective and can be administered as an add-on vaccine for children following the routine vaccination schedule. If a child is infected with chickenpox, it is important to keep them from school or daycare until all the blistered have crusted to prevent the spread of the virus to others. Treatments may include medications to help with itching and pain relievers to reduce fever and discomforts. For any enquiries, speak to our pediatrician. Call or WhatsApp us on 050-143-2433
662 for further enquiries, or follow Nyaho Medical Center on social media for more health in the city tips. Nyaho, improving your quality of life.
Health Tidbits was brought to you by the Nyaho Medical Center.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Manenko.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi
97.3.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Love is sweeter than money, boy. Money can't make you love reality. Love is something that you have inside. Love will make you love your family with pride. Love is sweeter than money, boy. Money can't make you love reality. Love is something that you have inside. Love will make you love, not even the English pound, or the American dollar, or the Japanese yen, and the Dutch guilder. The Mechanized love me culture. When me know say Jah is looking down, but this your world. Materialism, mission, boys and girls. You reap what you sow, and the benefit you keep. Love ain't expensive, love ain't cheap. It's a natural mystic like you, my girl. My ebony, ivory, and me diamond and pearl. Love is truly like a blessing from above. Love.
Sikayente Senor, Sikayente Senor, Sabriniwa, Onia Brantier, oh, Minia Brantier, oh, Onia Brantier, Chimopue, watch it.
Citi 97.3. More variety.
Money can't make you love reality. Love is something that you have inside. Love will make you love your family with pride. Love is sweeter than money, boy. Money can't make you love reality. Love is something that you have inside.
Oh, I'm doing dancing, Zika. I've been a man said, I'm doing dancing, Zika. And then there, I'm doing dancing, Zika. How do you
every lie, triple every lie.
Don't
put that sweet life. Nobody make money fool you.
Seven 7:39 City Breakfast Show. All right, so there's a number of things we'll be talking about this morning. But just to let you know that everybody is looking for that one thing that pushes them to bring out their best and enables them to reach peak performance. Your car wants this too, and that's why your best bet is to give it Shell Helix engine oil. So your car needs the lubricants in Koswahini Shell Helix, specially designed to bring out the best in your engine, protecting it from wear and tear, while preventing the power or while providing the power and performance needed to give you the best ride every time. So whether you are cruising on the open road or battling with busy traffic, Shell Helix will keep your engine running smoothly. Choose Shell Helix lubricant Munko Swahini for the ultimate power, performance, and protection. Visit your local Shell station today and experience the difference for yourself. Which is guys trying to come up with some agenda that I don't understand. That, some small connection has opened for Ghanaian nurses. They are quietly, doing their visa, going to do their UK thing. Nobody has come to worry them. They haven't come to complain about anything. Then you're going to take some newspaper and some UK parliamentary report that they are saying that, some countries are on some watch list or something. So it's like it's not fair. Meanwhile, the people sit. You are not a nurse. Your wife is not a nurse. Your mother is not a nurse. Your brother. There's no nurse in your house. Nurses are managing their connections small. Then you can't sit on radio this morning. No. Yeah. Why should the UK people be taking our? Have the nurses come to complain that they don't want to go? So now you are making the whole thing look like something. So now they are thinking of some policy. And so even the connection people want to do, I'm sure the visa people are like, this week, we have to limit the visas for the nurses. I'm sure this morning somebody's even going for their visa. But because of this news, he doesn't want to go. Because I'm sure if he goes, today, because the way the British government is talking, we have to. Charlie, do you know how people fast for visa? Do you know the spiritual exercise people do to go and stand in visa queue? You can't sit on air and say, the UK government is saying that some countries have been shortlisted or blacklisted or whatever, and that is not fair because some countries are producing this and they are selling. Don't people produce things that you also use in your own country? Is it everything that you benefit from that you produce yourself?
Bernard.
And then you can't sit here. Small connection people are doing their care. £800, save the money, can buy some land in OEB and start something small for the family. Then you are sitting on air spoiling the thing. Charlie, you have to stop that. You have to cease and desist. I'm telling you, because you see, Nathan, this is what they call typical crime more than the bereaved. All the professionals who are flying away, even the hospitals, you would have said, Ghana Health Service, we can issue some statement. Our nurses are finishing. We haven't seen any statement. Colleagues will come and say, our doctors they haven't come to say anything. They are all quiet. Then you sit here, lawyer, you won't go and concentrate on your law. You can't sit here and be telling me that. GRNA, I haven't seen a statement from them about nurses. I haven't seen Kolebu, Okoboy, I haven't heard anything from him. NHIS, nothing. Everybody's quiet managing their business, managing the pounds small. Then you can't sit on air, blow alarm. Now the Ghana people cry, they say, I'm a fire UK. No, I'm a cabadon. Meaning, Charlie, you have to stop that. No, I'm very, because I see, you're talking about livelihood, so.
I agree that there are livelihoods at stake.
And I'm bringing law to you. What's your capacity? You are not a lawyer, you are not a nurse. You are not married to one.
Okay.
In fact, I check your family tree. There's no nurse there. I'm not sure any of your neighbors are nurses. So this thing you are doing is just,
Bernard, you see, first of all, I'm a citizen of the Republic.
Please.
And I am worried at the repeated news stories we continue to receive. Yes. That in many parts of this country, we do not have a representation of health service in those areas, in the form of nurses and doctors. And but these are very critical people or personnel who we need to keep us strong and healthy.
You see, you are bringing doctors. You see, your argument is falling. You know why? The main advocacy was about nurses.
Yeah, I'm joining.
There are more nurses in Ghana than doctors.
That's true.
So, in fact, the hospitals that don't have doctors, remember last week we spoke to some district director of health who said that in the whole of, I think it was Wa East or so, or one of the districts in the northern region, there was only one doctor, or he was the only doctor, right? But he had nurses. He had nurses helping him out. So there are more nurses in Ghana than even doctors.
That's true. That's true because of how they are trained.
So your argument falls flat.
But my argument is that it is true that in many parts of this country, you don't even see nurses. In many parts of this country, where there are even nurses, the numbers are not as great. Of course, I appreciate the fact that government is failing to pay them what is due them. I appreciate the fact that in some cases, the government is restricting access into the public service because they say that we do not have enough money to go around.
They've been picketing, asking for employment.
Exactly. Many of them have been trained and they are home. They don't have jobs. For years, in some cases, 5 years, 6 years, they are still sitting at home. And they say quota system, all these things are happening. So there's a restriction. So what's happening is that the dinosaurs of the Western world are intervening to take them away. And they are paying them comparatively better than what we give them here.
And this is not new, right?
Yes, it is not new. But Bernard, the fact is, since the UK left the European Union, there has been, or there is a new drive to ensure that they shore up many of the shortfalls that are within their system. They get people from cheaper alternatives to supply the shortfall. So they are targeting countries like Nigeria, Ghana, Zimbabwe, many of these African countries, which are comparatively poor. You understand? And they are taking these critical human resources away so that they can help their economy. Of course, nobody would be averse to greener pastures necessarily. But Bernard, we need these health professionals, especially the nurses and doctors, to keep our system running.
Says who?
No, Bernard, we have all seen the reports.
You see, there's something in the economics. Demand is something called effective demand. If you can't pay the person, you don't need the person. Or if you don't employ, you don't need people with math. If the person has finished school and you are not paying them competitively, how do you say you need them? You don't need them.
Bernard, should we benchmark our pay to workers to that of what happens elsewhere?
Why not?
That would be unfair because we have to look at the size of our port and pay comparatively. And that's why the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission...
That's what they call market premium.
But we see that we cannot compare...
So maybe we should increase nurses' salary so that we can keep them here.
So what would the teachers say?
But they are not going as much.
They are also going... You see, the sad reality is that...
But there's no exodus of Ghanaian teachers in the numbers you are seeing in nurses.
Bernard, you see, we are not monitoring. If we were monitoring, you would have noticed that they are leaving to Bahrain, they are leaving to Qatar, they are leaving to Dubai, they are leaving to the UK,
yeah, but Sky,
leaving to China.
Let's put it this way. I went to my secondary school 3 weeks ago. When I was in that school, there were about 1,000 students in the school. Form 1 to everybody. Now there are 5,400, right? So almost every secondary school, compared to 20 years ago, 25 years ago, you probably have, the numbers have multiplied by 5. Okay. A lot of these people will qualify to go to some tertiary institution. Expand the access to tertiary education. Train them. You can't even employ all of them. The biggest problem in Ghana is unemployment. If a country, if your professionals are considered of a certain quality, that the best of them can be recruited to work in a different jurisdiction, the solution is not to say, let's stop it. The problem is that they are leaving. But the solution is not they shouldn't go. Do you understand my logic? So yes, the problem is that they are leaving. But there's something called replacement. It's like the bucket is leaking. But the bucket is leaking. Once the tap can keep running, the bucket can still remain full. Do you understand? So sometimes you concentrate between, do I stop the leaking bucket or do I keep the tap running, or a combination of the two? In this case, it will be difficult to stop the bucket from leaking because the relativities in the economy, you cannot compete with UK when it comes to salary. So what do? Invest in a new tap. Invest in a new tap. In that tap, you are going to say, you are building Agenda 111. Teaching hospitals. Make them teaching hospitals. Attach universities to them. Upgrade some of our polytechnics to be health providing whatever. Think outside the box. So if you have 16 regions, 16 nursing training institutions of a certain caliber, train 20,000, export them to Burkina Faso, export them to Namibia, export them to US, UK. What do you lose? Because you have a massive unemployment problem. So this idea that, they shouldn't go, I am not happy that people are leaving Ghana and we are not getting healthcare. But it's an opportunity for the government to say, we should invest in the training of our human resource. So that when you go to the nursing department at Legon, they should have better facilities. You could even say, why don't we come up with some tax to the UK government to say for every 100 nurses that who come that you pay, maybe a few millions of pounds in aid to invest in training of health professionals. You can call it the health professionals training tax. That you surcharge. You see, this is what you mean by thinking outside the box. Not to say, they are no. Because the UK government is getting 100 people. I agree with you. 100 people have been trained, taxpayers' money, subsidized training. You're going to pay them 4,000, 3,000, 2,000. UK is going to give them pounds. I interviewed a nurse and his wife last 6 months or so. The guy said he's able to save up to 5,000 cedis every month. Save, you can save 5,000 a month with your 2 jobs and you can't. He's saving 5,000 a month and they are using it to buy land. So, for me, I don't even think it's a problem. We should even ask the UK to take us out of that list. We don't want to be among the list of countries. We don't have a problem.
Are you serious?
Oh, yes. Because Ghana's educational system, in comparison to other African countries, is still very, very competitive. I've been to the UK, you've been to the UK. With a normal first degree, you can cope in any university anywhere. So yes, we have challenges with quality, but we are still very competitive. Right? We are good at English. English is now the universal language. We are surrounded by francophone countries. Okay? So we have a lot going for us. And we have one of the biggest unemployment challenges where there's a youth bulge, the economy is not growing, government is not recruiting, private sector is shrinking, taxes are too many. This is external relief. This is external. You should be thanking God. You should be thanking God that there are economies that are able to absorb some of your people so that if you have sense, you replace them. Because there aren't enough jobs for anybody. Some government institutions have not recruited for years. Do you get me? People are applying for work they can't get. So I feel like it is a bit outmoded to come and be complaining that we don't have enough health. And it's almost colonialist mentality. The poor countries can't have their own nurses, so we should limit. Like, what is that? Everybody is aspiring to do well. What government should do is to steady the equilibrium and come up with policies that will benefit the greatest majority of people. Not to come up with this restrictive Zimbabwe thing that they are arresting people for. I mean, how crazy can you get? That people who have been trained, who use their own mind to study a course, want to go and better themselves, and you are arresting them.
Bernard,
I hope it's not true.
No, I think it's inaccurate to say they use their own money. Even where they use their own money, the taxpayers is investing in their training.
So it means that they can be prisoners?
No, Bernard. I mean, that's on the extreme side of things.
Is it my brain you used to? Okay, what if I went to bomb? So is it everybody who was giving taxpayer support who passed the exam?
No. So if you bomb, you bomb. But when you have been successful, we have committed the tax CD to you for a purpose. We are training you so that you serve a useful purpose of helping us stay healthy. And my argument is that, look, we do not have enough to go around. Of course, I mean, there could be a discussion around what quota we can commit to processes like that for purposes of earning foreign exchange. But Bernard, you see, you have to feed your family well first before you think of feeding other families on charitable basis.
And what you said is the same that the nurse will say. What you just said is true. Is truer for the nurse than it is for the country.
Why is that the case?
Repeat what you said.
I'm saying that you have to feed your family first.
Yes.
Their belly must be full first.
Exactly.
Before you think of feeding other families on a charitable.
You are just falling on your own sword.
No. Better
because if I'm a nurse, you are thinking based on what you are saying, I have to feed my family first.
No.
So I'll go and work.
In that case, you are bastardizing.
No. I'm borrowing your message.
No. That's not the context in which you are using the adage or the saying or the expression. I am talking about charity. I'm talking link.
My home is my home first before the country.
No. You see, hold on. I am saying
charity begins at home.
Yes, that's what they say.
So in my calculation as a free economic agent. My home is my stomach and my personal economy and the survival of my family in this difficult economy.
Connect it to charity. If you look at it in isolation, you come to that conclusion. But I'm saying that you take the view that we should be supportive of courses that take some of our trained nurses and professionals and commit them to other countries, right?
We should see it as an opportunity that the global economic order has presented and strategize to maximize the benefit for our citizens.
Yeah, but the point is
by training as many as we can, and all of them cannot go. The more you and I'm saying that now the students. It's my secondary school. I'm saying my secondary school. The dining assembly hall we have is 2,000. When they are doing Sunday evening service, which is compulsory for everybody, about half of the students sit outside.
Yeah,
outside though. They can't fit in. There are plenty. I can say 90% of those people enter tertiary institutions. So we have more. And who are you going to give them work here? Why are they going to work?
So
we need. You see, we should be happy. It's like balance, imbalance. The recession that's going on in different parts of the world, it leads to people moving from those countries to other places. I can say Ghana is in like a mini recession. So the economy is not expanding. IMF said the economy will grow at 1.6. What does it mean? We can't employ people. Certain countries have surpluses. So in disequilibrium situation, let people move from where they can be paid to where they can be paid. It will even out eventually. And the good thing is that when they go, they are so magnanimous that they send money. It's called private remittance. And they sent more money than FDI. So all that UOP grant has done in 2020, individual nurses and doctors and things sent more without any government anything. So it's the given economic reality. I am just saying, don't try and interfere with people's personal aspirations, right? You are a lawyer. You are a skillful journalist. If an organization from the UK, maybe International Maritime Organization, say we've watched your legal work advocates for 20 years and want you to come and work at the IMO as our legal, then you say we don't have enough people like this guy who make us laugh in the morning, so you should stay and feed his family first. I mean, what is this? Like what? Like, look, stop it. Just stop it.
Let me read a story. Stop it. Let me just read a story for you, and it will put everything in context.
You don't have any facts.
There's a story by the Vanguard that says Nursing Federation slams UK recruitment from poorer nations. The story says Britain's recruitment of nurses from poorer countries as a quick fix.
Even that poorer thing they are putting there is an insult.
But that's the truth. Relatively.
They've stolen all our resources. Now we are what?
You see, so they want to steal your human resources.
No, we are equalizing. They stole our natural resources and we are going to collect pounds and send back here.
No, you see, when you do that, your people don't have access to health. So they die quicker and at a more, you know.
But Sky, so if that's the case, Bernard asked a very simple question. For each individual, for each nurse, or when you look at it from an individual basis, people are doing it for a number of reasons. Now, somebody has maybe done their training. They are not getting an opportunity to practice. Not that they don't want to practice. They want to practice. But look at all the factors that go against them in their quest to practice. For example, maybe not enough health facilities, for example. Not enough amenities to make them comfortable when they leave wherever it is to go elsewhere and go and work, that kind of thing. So when you are presented with those hurdles, and this option opens up for you to, one, go and practice, and two, do what any logical economic agent, as Bernard puts it, will do. Survive. Really, all of this is a matter of survival. People will take that option because they need to feed their families. There are basic bread and butter issues.
The article is reading in the Vanguard is dead on arrival.
let me
What's the Latin for that? It is dead in utero. It is dead in the womb. But you read it for sake of
the article says Britain's recruitment of nurses from poorer countries as a quick fix, let's underline that, for its own under-investment in the profession is a serious cause of concern, the Global Nurses Federation said on Monday. Now, the International Council of Nurses said wealthy countries recruiting nursing staff from some of the world's most fragile health systems was extremely hard to justify and perhaps should be stopped entirely.
But you're aware Ghana is not one of them. Ghana is not among the world's most fragile health systems.
Why, Bernard?
Come on. This is the problem. The people lump all of us together.
Ghana. Wait, let me finish.
One of the world's most fragile.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Have you been to Burundi? Have you been to Sierra Leone?
Let me finish.
Have you been to Eritrea?
You wait. Let me finish.
Ghana is not among the most fragile anything.
The ICN said 7 or 8 wealthy countries, notably Britain, the United States, Canada, were driving around 80% of national nurse migration. 80% too.
Yes.
International nurse migration to try to address their domestic shortages. Mm-hmm. There's a quote here that says, "We are very concerned by some of the examples." ICN Chief Executive Howard Carton told a press conference that was organized by the UN Correspondents Association in Geneva. He cited talks between Britain and Ghana, Bernard, we are mentioned here in the article, whereby London will pay Accra £1,000, which is $1,240 per nurse recruited.
Correct.
Now, there's a quote here that says that in no way goes anywhere near recognizing the true value of the training cost of that nurse.
So they should increase
That's the argument that I made. Or the loss to the Ghanaian health system. He said, that's the professional speaking. That in no way goes anywhere near recognizing the true value of the training cost of that nurse, or the loss to the Ghanaian health system, he said. When adding in experience and in the field, I would expect to see £50,000 as a price to compensate for that experience at least, if not more. £1,000 is woefully short, unquote.
That's my argument. No, he's not saying they shouldn't come. He said they should pay us more.
They said we should stop it entirely. So he's saying that even if we continue, there has to be proper compensation for the losses that we incur as a
but
state.
Why is our government collecting only £1,000?
Well, that's a question that the health minister...
Training a nurse in Ghana for the number of years will cost more than £1,000.
Yes.
So why are they charging only £1,000?
You see, Bernard, so that's on another level. And the money that we use in training the nurses, of course, they pay their fees. But you see, a lot of the things that they do to receive training, we subsidize it. We pay for the lecture halls. We pay all these equipment that they use in the...
collectively, and they pay back. You see, when you make it like we, the nurses, see, we are all relatives of nurses.
I understand.
So we all pay. Yes. But when they send the money back, we all benefit.
Which money, which one benefits me? They send it to their family people.
But aren't the family people Ghanaians?
Yes, they are Ghanaians, but you see, but all of us...
But the government also collected 1,000.
Per the agreement that they have signed.
Yes, they should just collect more.
But you see, so
train more nurses. If I were you, I would say we should have a secret initiative to expand the training of health professionals and have them in grades. Basic nursing, community nursing, high-level nursing, whatever. And invest money into it. Look, even the diaspora coming back brings a certain quality back to the country when they return. It's part of your development. We have a rich history. People like Ghanaians. We have a proud people. We have a solid track record in delivery at the highest level. So, yes, you can say they should increase the £1,000 to 5,000, 10,000. Fine. Actually, I would have focused on saying, let's increase our quality of awareness so that the UK system will say that, actually, if we have Bangladesh, India, Nigeria, and Ghana, we'll choose Ghana because the Ghana nurse is better. That's what we should focus on. So let's add value to our nurses so that they will be in higher demand. Then the spin-offs will come. Because if your quality of nurses is good, all of us will benefit. So I would have said there should even be a presidential initiative on nurses that will give them the best education to subsidize. For example, in the war story that you said there was no doctor. If it's easier to train nurses and to send. Look, there are some places where some high caliber nurses will give you very good care. It's not everything that you even need a doctor. And of course, the doctor training is more complicated. 7 years is a difficult situation. If you were making this argument for doctors, I'll probably have come from a different angle. Because to train a doctor is an entirely different, it's a longer issue and all that. You know? But for nurses, I've never seen a Ghanaian doctor begging to be employed. I've never seen a Ghanaian, but nurses will go and stand at the Ministry of Health and say they should employ them. So a government that doesn't value its own nurses, and now you are sitting in UK, Howard, something that they should. What are you talking about?
Brother, let me give you further evidence.
Let's wait for Nathan to bring a segment. Okay. I have time today. I have a lot of time for you. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. By the way, if you are a nurse or related to one, please let me know what you think. Sky is trying to cry more than they believed. I believe that there's no nurse listening to this program who agrees with Sky. I will be surprised to have a nurse or a health professional say Sky is right. I will be very surprised. But anyway, we'll see. I wish you well in that regard. So if you're a nurse who thinks Sky is right, you should clap for him, then you let me know. But I know you support me, so send me your comments 054-998-6996. You know, we'll do tech and social media trends, and then we'll continue with the discussion. Let's just move forward with me. Later, I'll be speaking to a very important person from the Rotary community. They have an important subject they are discussing this week. He will join us on the show. But first things first, like Richard Sky said, feed your family before you feed other people. A comes before B, B before N. First bank or FBN bank. We also put the customer first before we do other things. So essentially, we offer quality service for our customers because they deserve the finer things in life. We are the bank that puts the B before the N. Think FBN, you first. Nathan. Charlie, let's hear you, Let's hear you, leave this man with his colo mentality.
Oh, Charlie. So hashtag CTCBS is trending. Have people reacting to the conversation we are having this morning. But it's a trend, series of trends, of course, football related from last night. Man City, Bernardo Silva, others are trending. Real Madrid versus Chelsea is trending. That game is happening tonight. It's not even played yet. To be
injurious. To be a bruising encounter.
We will embarrass all of you.
Did they go collect our water?
We will embarrass all of you.
So you have.
They will score you, like 4-0 home, 4-0 away.
So you have all of that.
Obaso. If they say Sodi and Sanso, you are playing Alikoto, and then like you do, and then you don't. Then they say so.
The guy you.
They say so. You have to me. Obaso.
So yeah, those are some of the those are football related trends. There are some basketball related trends as well. LeBron James is trending. Anthony Edwards, all of that because of the game the Lakers played with the Timberwolves early this morning. So some tech news and a very interesting interview. Elon Musk granted a very interesting interview with the BBC. Yeah. Now he says that running Twitter has been, quote, quite painful and it's been a roller coaster, end quote. However, the multi-billionaire entrepreneur also says that he would sell the company if the right person came along. Now Musk, who also owns car maker Tesla and rocket firm SpaceX, bought Twitter for $44 billion in October. And he was speaking as part of an interview on Twitter Spaces, which attracted more than 3 million listeners. Asked whether he had any regrets about buying Twitter, Mr. Musk said, quote, "The pain level has been extremely high. This hasn't been some kind of party," end quote. So Elon Musk opening up on his time at Twitter.
Where he slept. I mean, somebody posted a photograph of what was supposed to be his bedroom. Some mattress on the floor and some laptop here and a few things on the floor like that. It was basically some open space. It's not any bourgeois anything. Then he came back and said that, well, I mean, that's just partly true, and that he slept in a friend's garage or space over the weekend or something like that. And I was wondering, someone worth over $188 billion sleeping in such a space. You see, so all the things we chase in life, really, at the end of the day, it comes down to where you lie down.
Yeah, where you put your head.
And at the end of the day, So, Charlie, let's take it easy. It's not all about going to the West to make so much money.
But so you're trying. So it's about finding a place to lay your head. That's what people are trying to do. Yeah.
One day, an old lady inherited a huge sum of money. Her family worried about how to break the good news to her. They feared that the sudden good news might give her a heart attack. And so they decided the family doctor who was experienced in delivering such news should be the one to tell her. And when he did, surprisingly, she just smiled. Relieved, he asked, "What are you going to do with all that money?" She replied, "I'm going to give you half." The doctor had a heart attack. People are often surprised when we put them first. At FBN Bank, that's what we do. We put you first. Open an account with us today and enjoy mobile banking, USSD banking, shop and pay with our prepaid Visa cards, MasterCard, and many other services designed with you in mind. FBN Bank, you first.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
There are moments in life when you're just so scared and you feel like just giving up. Oh, but Dino Milk is saying, we know that you can do it. Believe in yourself and then go for it. Go for it. Nourishmental. That is your Dino Milk. Oh.
Choose nourishment. Choose Dino Milk Whole Cow. Your nutritious instant powdered milk.
Dino Milk. Go for it.
This advert is FDA approved.
Ajua, Grandma looked very peaceful. I was completely amazed when I saw her neatly presented. She looked just like she was sleeping.
You haven't seen anything yet, my brother. You should have seen the care and quality treatment they gave her at transitions. One man, one room, oh, just like a 5-star hotel.
Wow.
And not only that, we had a dedicated person to guide the family through the funeral planning process.
Are you sure?
Of course. From picking her up to when we lowered Grandma down, everything was completely stress-free. They had all the needed funeral services, caskets, hearse, chapel, and so much more.
This one, dear, no family fights after all.
I'm so happy we made a right decision to use Transitions.
With Transitions, your loved one gets the best of care while the family enjoys a stress-free funeral planning process. Call us now on 0302-634-706. And no, did I tell you they are affordable? Transitions, the funeral people.
And listeners, we now welcome Mr. Galaxy to give us an Easter special weather report.
Thank you. Hello, lovely listeners. We can confirm that from the 3rd to the 15th of April, there's going to be a storm over selected Samsung authorized stores across the length and breadth of the country. Massive clouds are gathering and it's going to rain big discounts. 1,500 cedis off the S23 Ultra 1TB and 1,000 cedis off the 512GB version. 750 cedis off the S23 and S23 Plus. Also, for every A54 and A34, you get a backpack. And for the A14, you get a brand new bottle. Finally, you get 50 cedis off on the A04 range of phones. All Ghanaians are advised to prepare for this incoming discount storm and stay safe from non-discounted gadgets. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Let me tell you, if you're not wrong, then why? Everything is alright. So we gonna walk.
Yes, indeed. So let's hear from you, the nurse, a doctor, a health professional. What's the best way to benefit from the brain drain, if there's anything like this? That's the question. What's the best way to benefit from the brain drain?
What kind of question are you asking?
Yeah, that's really the focus. That's what I'm trying to focus on. If Sky would not allow me to proceed with this is 2x4 argument that we should let people.
Bernard, let me fortify my position.
Oh,
there's a story here.
Let Nathan pay the bills first. This thing wants to fortify fortification.
All right, now grabbing your favorite drink for all your different occasions
get Coke and drink.
Can be tricky.
Fortify your argument.
Charlie, but Coke has you covered. Now you can get your favorite 300 ml Coke Classic, a plastic bottle at 5 cedis, and the same size 300 ml Coke Zero, Fanta, and Sprite for 4 cedis. If you want more Coke, then you can get the 1.5 liter Coke Classic plastic bottle at 20 cedis, and the same sized 1.5 liter Coke Zero, Fanta, and Sprite at 18 cedis to share with family and friends. Bring the excitement and fun to all your occasions and enjoy the real ice-cold refreshment with your friends and family. La Bianca Company Limited is the leading frozen foods company in Ghana, and they are bringing you Akuko Tasty.
I have a friend called Akuko. He wants to run NDC in Ashaima. Imano Kumade. No, Imano Kumade, aka Akuko. No, even big man. He's a lawyer.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Akuko. No.
Yeah, he said he's coming for the seat.
Wow.
Giddy.
Hey, you won't worry my friend for that.
Yeah. So Nathan is mentioning Akuko. To have Akuko there.
Akuko Tasty. So it's locally produced, bred and slaughtered, and it comes freshly portioned in chicken breast, thighs, wings, backs, and gizzards. And La Bianca is the sole distributor of Akuko Tasty. Call them on 0505 431 111 for more inquiries. La Bianca, your number one frozen foods company. Now, in this era of haircuts on investments, be smart with your cash and invest in a venture that guarantees full returns. With just 2 deep freezers, a block structure or store, and a minimum of 10,000 cedis, you can become a Farm Milk agent today. Cash out now with as little as 10,000 cedis, and Farm Milk will support you with the sales equipment you will need to set up and start working immediately. This is a sure way of becoming a bossu. Call 030-7000-595 and we'll set you up to start earning 10% monthly returns. T's and C's apply.
You can contribute to the growth and success of Ghana's textile industry every time you wear your authentic fabrics, like Sky is doing, like I'm doing. GTP says thank you always. Purchase original, genuine, and authentic GTP fabrics. Check the design number on the label, or check that the design number on the label is also printed on the selvage. Contact 0509 940 949 to buy online or visit any of our accredited dealers nationwide or any wooden shop. GTP Lifestyled.
Now, everybody is looking out for that one thing that pushes them to bring out their best and enables them to reach peak performance. Your car wants that too. That's why your best bet is to give it Shell Helix engine oil lubricant more in Koswahini. So whether you're cruising on the open road or battling with traffic, Shell Helix will keep your engine running smoothly. Choose Shell Helix lubricants for ultimate power, performance, and protection. Visit your local Shell station today and experience the difference for yourself.
And this inspires us. In the beginning, children in a community used to walk to school. Today, not only are her bamboo bicycles making it easier for these children to get to school, Benis the Power also employs many women as well. At Upstart, this is what we call Africanacity, the distinct ability of the Ghanaian to always get things done. It's our inspiration, it defines who we are and what we do. It's our commitment to helping people find a way to get things done. To find out more, visit upstart.com.
Now, welcome to April. April is the month of jazz, and Alliance Francaise Accra invites you to the Société Générale Ghana Jazz Festival, a week-long celebration of jazz in all its forms. Now, check out the exciting contemporary art in the Jazz and Art exhibition running from April 24 to 29. Learn the art of making music with the master of the game, Victor Day Jr., on the 27th of April. Now, this is by registration only. On the 28th of April, there's Pamela Badjogo from Gabon, followed by the renowned Victor Day Junior Quartet from Ghana. And on April 29, that will feature the award-winning Charlie from Benin and the multi-talented legend Kwame Yeboah and the Kwame Band from Ghana. Tickets are a cool 50 cedis per day and 30 cedis for students. Follow at AF_Accra on all socials for updates and workshop registration. The Société Générale Jazz Festival is powered by Alliance Française Accra.
We know where we're from. We live in Babylon, yo. We're going to our father's land.
All right, so Richard Sky says he wants to fortify
my position,
his argument.
Bernard, let me take a story from Ghana Business News.com. My good friend, Dugbevi's website.
Dugbevi.
Yeah, Dugbevi, Tigerhead. Ghana is experiencing brain drain of nurses. This story was published on the 14th of May, 2022.
Okay.
And it says Ghana is currently seeing an increase in the migration of professional nurses to high-income countries due to the global shortage of nurses caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The presidential advisor on health, Dr. Anthony Nsiasare, said the trend was worrying as it amounts to a massive public subsidy of the wealthier nations, given the fact that nursing education in Ghana is publicly financed. Mr. Nsiasare, who was speaking at the launch of this year's International Nurses Day, said if the current trend was not checked, it could worsen the nurse-to-patient ratio and stall Ghana's ability to attain universal health coverage. Now, he encouraged nurses to stay and contribute to the development of the nation's health sector, saying, quote, I know many of you nurses yearn for greener pastures beyond the shores of Ghana. But bear in mind, and this is where I am very, very happy, that Ghanaians are looking up to you to maintain their health. Now, Dr. Nsiasare assured the nurses that the government remained committed to supporting their hard work and to boost their human capital by investing in their training. Now, he urged the Ministry of Health and its agencies to put in place mechanisms and structures that would enable nurses to fully realize their potential in contributing to the transformation.
What is that? What it should be, see, this is what I don't like. And I like this guy, he's a great guy. But like he's giving a speech, it's like, the trend is worrying, so we should create. It's like you're reading GBC News. He urged the stakeholders to create mechanisms. Like, what does that even mean? It's like, the nurses are living in the country and they express worry at the situation. And so they should invest in mechanisms at addressing the problem. News by, what's the name of that woman? Selma Valcott. Where is she? Charlie! He should be coming up with innovative ways of balancing the demand for Ghanaian nurses with the need for them to stay. Just telling people to stay is a non-starter.
They said the government is going to be doing something. And let me add to that.
No, it's not. He's guy. And you see, I'm not trying to belittle what he's saying in terms of the need for health professionals to work in Ghana. I am saying that you should wake up and smell the coffee. The average nurse gets between 27 to 32,000 pounds per annum.
In the UK.
In the UK. How much does a Ghanaian earn per annum if you convert it to pounds?
It will be something around 3,000 pounds or thereabouts.
So if your little sister were a nurse who went to 3 sec, and then she went to Jessica nursing, which is the nearest nursing training college?
Only he will know.
Oh no, there's one in Keta.
Keta Training College. So she went to 3 sec. Her mother's only daughter who managed to get to Keta nursing school. And then the thing opening for him is set. He's going to Birmingham to go and work in the St. Joseph's Hospital and Hospice. Then you can't sit there and say, oh, he shouldn't go because his answer said that he should serve his country. But what is he doing for her? Meanwhile, she spent 3 years speaking at their place. They're going to sack them that they should go. 3 years is not getting work. This same government that says, I want you to work for me. You see, the government is not, it's just talking. That how can a nurse go and protest to be employed? I've never seen that in my life. That the employer say, we'll employ you. Yeah, we'll employ you. Yeah, we'll train you. Then when you suit you say, oh, by the way, the UK government is subsidizing something. Charlie, my brother, let's get serious. Let's stop this.
But that's why you're laughing. But it's interesting how
stop this.
This matter of employing nurses is so endemic in our system that it's actually a political voting item.
You mean like the nurses' employment?
Yes.
The nursing training allowance?
Yes.
Look at that.
Like it's exactly, that's what I'm saying. That
this is politics.
Because
nursing training allowance.
Why would it? Why would it become? Why would it even get to a level where it's a matter of it's a voting block basically, and it's a very significant voting block.
I think it's more the politicians capitalizing on people's problems and giving them the little solution that will just get them
the vote. That's what I'm saying.
Without deeply thinking through how do you reform. Because I am saying that for me, this is a big opportunity. Because Professor Dimensa came to the program we did on the managing and financing senior high schools at Chimota Speaks. He said there are 2,000 students at Legon School of Engineering in one class, and they have 13 big what's that what they use? Burette. So there's pipette and burette. So burette. 2,000 students have 13 burettes. Now that means that that scientist who will be produced is going to be a danger to society. So if I were in science or whoever, I'll say, you know what? Let's increase the money the UK collects from the nurses, invest it in burettes and pipettes, so that the person who comes out can actually do the work. Then when we have enough good quality, we can share the rest. As for Wallace and his people in the UK, they are just talking. You know, there's NGO work. Sometimes they have donor support to kind of say something about. So, okay, does he know what our people go through here to even get the education they get?
They are concerned.
They are not concerned about anything. They just want to talk so that the UK government it's all their own local things. We know the situation better than them. So you can't, Wallace, I've done this work for almost 20 years. Wallace will not now tell me that nurses here are suffering and that our healthcare system is one of the worst in the world. Compared to who?
Ghana, a country over 29 million people, has a little over 38,000 nurses. Just one nurse to 739 people.
That's true.
Which, despite exceeding the World Health Organization threshold for developing countries, leaves the country with a 50% deficit of nursing staff. And a good number of them are home because of suppressed demand. The government cannot pay them.
Read the nurses' comments. This one, I won't even waste my time worrying. You see, the thing, you see, what I'm saying is, I think that training of professionals, whether they are doctors or nurses or lab technicians, should be seen as a national priority. And if this idea of exporting them is something that we are going to work with, then we should have a better system of being compensated as a country. For that, I agree with him. £1,000 is an insult.
Too much.
All right? But you have 2,000 people using 13 burettes. So you are not investing. So it means that in the next 10 years, your nurses may not even qualify to go to the UK because. So you see, you are going to create a bigger problem. Your nurses will come out and they don't know anything because there are 13 burettes for 2,000 of them. So you should actually be saying, let's raise more money so there will be higher quality. So they will say, Charlie, when we have a Pakistani, a Bangladeshi, an Indian, and Nigerian, the Ghanaian is the best. That's what we should do. But I typically get a read speech that the stakeholders should. Let's apply our minds to problems and think deeply about how to solve it. We are too lazy to the extent that you even have somebody you invite come and give you, like you invite a politician to come and talk, then they'll say write a speech for me. Like, how can you ever say that? Like, put some notes down so that the minister, he can just edit. That tells you the level of paucity in thinking, that you are doing a program, you invite a politician to come and speak. Then the person who's supposed to write his speech tells you, the program, that write a speech for him to come and say. Then you also can hold it and say, yeah. So yes, we are very happy to say that the guy. Like, what are you doing? Think about it. If that is not symptomatic of a nation that doesn't have thinkers, then I don't know what it is. That you are inviting someone to come and talk to you. You are doing a program. Maybe Prempe is doing 70th anniversary. Then this guy's here group invite somebody come and talk. Then his people will call Godfrey and say, hey, Godfrey, mum fast speech in bra.
They want the theme.
Then he write the speech and you give it and you go and read it. You just edit the grammar and put some introduction there, add some politics.
They want the theme.
It's tough. You see, we always see problems like, oh, if we sit down and think, we can win in this issue. You see, your man, Captain Budukumsi, told you. tell the world what he told you. tell the world what, before I do my next interview. I'll come back to this. Captain Budukumsi Sky interview and he told Sky something. Sky doesn't say it.
Say it. Let me end.
No, I want him to say what Captain Budukumsi said.
When they were in Germany, the only time that you will see a Ghanaian sitting down and thinking seriously is when they want to beat the system.
The only time you see a Ghanaian thinking seriously is when they want to beat the system.
But quite a few. Let me read one from a nurse and then one from a listener. The way people are insulting Sky. So my good friend Young Atu says that. He says, good morning. He says, Sky is disappointing me on this matter. He says, he's a community health nurse. He says, the health system is so suffocating and I bet you I am leaving with my wife and kids soon. I have worked for the past 10 years as a community health nurse and my salary is not yet 2,500 Ghana cedis. The most annoying part is how frustrating it is just to get steady leave. This system makes me sick and I just show up deceiving myself that I am working.
That's a nurse. Read another one.
And then this one is from my good friend Sheikh Tofik Senu, who is listening. He says, why are we not being smart as a country on the issue of nurses? We are a developing country. And so if we can develop the labor force and can't get them jobs, why can't we train more nurses and send them out to the developed countries so we earn more money? Some kid then goes on to less countries who have MOUs with Qatar, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, where they send them labor. But these are no good examples.
And you are reading
Qatar, Dubai, Saudi Arabia.
The speech you are reading says we should do stakeholders.
But his position on the matter is, he says, we can't stop the brain drain because our economy can't sustain us. So we must formalize it. This nurses exodus this nurse issue is akin to football player exodus.
Even we are at risk.
We can't stop it.
We the people sitting here, Charlie. Let me do my next interview.
Like they should put one for lawyers. Charlie, we will miss our lawyers.
I'm going to take a quick interview with the district governor of District 9. A copy of district governor of District 9102. Winfred Mensah, and then the district governor for this 9102, Victor Yawasanti for the Rotary. This is Rotary.
I thought you were talking about some American city.
No. So the Rotary people are doing some a very important thing. They are welcoming Rotarians and partners to their annual district training assembly and conference.
Oh, nice.
To be held at the Accra International Conference Center from April 11 to April 16. And this year's event is on the theme Beyond Imagination. Imagine Rotary. And there are some very important guests from the Rotary International, the President, Special Rep, Vice Rotary International President, Nicky Scott, and others will be attending this conference with some very high-level speakers like Regional Minister Henry Quarty, Professor Nana Abba Apia Amfo, Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Isabel Boateng, partner, AB and David, and Nakiat Dramani Sam, an environmental advocate. So all these people will be speaking. They'll be speaking at the International Training Assembly, which will be happening at the Accra International Conference Center. So we've been joined by the last district governor, I believe it is.
Yep.
Charlie, your things are long. District governor, Charlie. It's like I'm going to write some thesis. It is wild. But let me just welcome my very good friend, Victor Yawasanti, to the studio. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Bernard.
It's good to see you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I see you having fun.
Congrats on your latest appointment. I wasn't able to call you to congratulate you. I know you've been in that post for a while, but we are very proud of what you are doing. And I understand that you are the last district governor for the district. So you handed over? Or you are still the district governor?
Yet to hand over at the end of June.
You're handing over. So you're handing over to who?
At the end of June, I hand over to two people. We become two districts, David Amankwa from Ghana and Jermaine Tomega from Togo.
How long have you been a Rotarian, by the way?
Well, I started as a retractor when I was in tech. So basically, over 30 years.
Wow.
Because I've been a retractor. But the the senior Rotary, I started around 2005.
So for those who don't know, a Rotaract is the younger ones up to, I think, secondary school.
Interact is the younger one in secondary school, and Rotaract is university and community-based, and the Rotary is after 30.
So did you start with Interact or you just...
No, Rotaract.
I see. So over 30 years?
Yeah.
I'm understanding. So we are hosting the 10th Rotary District Training and Conference.
Correct.
Tell me about that. What's this all about?
Well, it's just an annual gathering of Rotarians where we take stock, review what you've done, focus on our year to come. So that we can basically size up what we want to do. I mean, in terms of the areas we offer service in. So pretty much that. We also train our leaders and ensure that they have the skills to undertake the things we do with our communities. If you know what Rotary is about, it's about community work. We don't take it for granted that everybody knows what they have to do. So the name is a bit long. It's District Training, Assembly and Conference. So basically the training part is exactly what it is, the training, where people go through classroom and informal training. Assembly is basically all Rotarians taking stock, having conversations around what we've done, what we need to do, and so on. And the conference, again, is also about a few speeches, inspirational speeches, focus areas. And like you said, like we bring outsiders also to come and have conversations with us and then get ready for the year ahead.
But why is it important to even train Rotarians?
Because
they are professionals. Most of them are.
But if you're a professional, I'm only a banker. I may not be a finance person, or I'm a doctor. I may not be an administrator. Rotary is a voluntary organization. So one of the first things we need people to understand is that when you're asking people to volunteer, it is a different ball game from your former workplace and all of that. So that's always a very important aspect of it. Also, if you are going to become a president of a club, you have to understand the structure of Rotary, reporting lines. Why? I mean, it's not for nothing that Rotary has been around for more than a century. There has a very strong governance system, and then you need to understand how all of these things work. If you don't have that structure, that backbone, you get it wrong. So it's very important that people know what they're about.
How many Rotary clubs do we have in Ghana?
Ghana has 61 at the moment.
61.
Yes. The district that I am governor for is 4 countries, basically Ghana, Togo, Niger, and Benin.
Wow.
Ghana basically forms about 50% of it. And like I said, we are splitting after me, and that's why we are calling the last one. Because we have become too big for one district. Basically what happens is that when you become big enough, they try to redistrict you. So this is the last time. 120 clubs is a big one to administer. So we are going to split into 2 after my term, where we have Ghana as a standalone district country, and then Togo, Benin, and Niger, the Francophones, also become one district. So I'm 1902, like you said, will become 9103 and 9104.
So with over 60 Rotary clubs in Ghana, what would you say the impact and the legacy of Rotary is in Ghana?
Oh, phenomenal, I think. I mean, you have to ask the people we work with. Basically, the way Rotary approaches its work is that we define what we want to do, the impact we want to do. I think the brand is basically more famous for, let's say, polio eradication, which we have done for a long time. And polio now, which we've been at since the middle of 80s worldwide. Done a lot of work with not just Rotarians, but our partners, USAID, Ministry of Health, and all of that. So that one everybody knows. That's the brand Rotary that people know. But beyond that, we also do a lot of things. Focus areas include basic education and literacy is one key thing we do. Maternal health and child health is something we also focus on a lot. Disease prevention is something we do a lot. These days, we also focus a bit on the environment, try to do something on the environment, conflict resolution, and so on, and prevention of conflict and all of that is also one of the areas. So whichever area we want to play in, we have done very well in Ghana, and I'm sure you can. I have been involved in many primary schools all over Ghana, as a partner in this region, Tetegu. All Rotary clubs in Ghana have had very significant interventions, whether they are surgeries, whether they are building schools, whether they are delivering maternal health, working with other partnerships. So we have had a very significant...
And Rotary been in Ghana for how long?
Well, Ghana specifically was since 1958.
Wow.
So we are more than 60
as old as
we are
Ghana.
65. Yeah.
Just a year behind. So this training and assembly and conference, who are some of the people we are going to see?
So it's basically about Rotarians. We have about 1,200 Rotarians who are registered to attend. So that's a huge one at the conference center. So that's one. But like I said, we then have other people who are joining. Like, for example, the president himself is joining us on Friday to give us his message because we partner.
The president of Ghana?
Yeah, the president of His Excellency Nana Addo.
Because you have your own president.
Yes, exactly. He give us his message on Friday around some of the collaborations. He's aware some of the things we do with them. Of course, he will come with a few of his ministers that we work with. For example, I spoke about environment focus, and we work with the Ministry of Lands and Forestry and then the Forestry Commission. So also they are also involved, and they will also be there. We'll be talking about some of the things we want to do. This year we also focus on female empowerment and some of the things we need to discuss. We are bringing in some very notable speakers like the Vice Chancellor of University of Ghana, Professor Amma, who we all know is very...
Nanaba Apiamfo.
Yeah, who is very strong around some of the things that have happened around female empowerment. We are also bringing Isabel Boatin, who is the managing partner for AB David. And she's also very strong around that. So these are people who will be speaking and they're giving us insights around some of the things we want to do.
Amazing. So is there anything else people need to know about this event? It's happening from 11th to the 15th. And are non-Rotarians invited?
Well, non-Rotarians are invited to some of the sessions. For example, Friday, when we have those sessions, we will be happy for other non-Rotarians to do. Of course, you have to register and come in as our guests. We also have a climax on Saturday where we finally have a party, if you like, after the hard work and say bye-bye to our friends. And that may also be open to some of our sponsors. We know we work with a lot of sponsors and partners. So it will be an opportunity to say thank you to them and all of that. And people like you are all invited to join us.
So then this will be your last major event before the district is split?
Yes, more or less. We also have the World Environment Day coming in June, which is also a very important part, which we are working with Lands Commission. I think they've announced already that there are 10 million trees to be planted. We partner them through our entire 61 clubs in Ghana, the 16 regions. So that will also be a major project to go through. But in terms of, having a large gathering of people and join, this will be the last one.
Wonderful stuff. We've been speaking to the district governor for District 9102, Victoria Wasante. He's a big man in Ghana. He's a bigger man in Rotary.
Bernard Avle is a big man.
He's in charge of four countries, so Charlie. No, you're a big man. And he's hosting a major conference from the 11th to the 15th, Accra International Conference Center, where they will train, they will assemble, they will conference, and then they will wine and dine. I'm sure you don't need to drive far from where you are to see the impact of Rotary. They are all over, in health, in education, in environment, in all kinds of good, noble causes, with over 61 Rotary clubs in Ghana, with almost how many members?
In Ghana, we have 1,700. In the district, we have 3,100.
Super stuff. This is what we mean by bringing change.
Absolutely.
This is what we need. So shout outs to Nana Yao and Pim Daku. The man, we know him as Ashford, but he says Rotary, so we'll take it like that. We know
he's a fantastic way.
Yeah, he's been running our Ashford moves for us. I need some furniture, Charlie. Sort you out, Jeff, some nice discount. No, Nana, how you do for? Nana, you do, Charlie. Later, if I can't see Nana, they run the furniture moves. Yeah. It's 8:42. So whilst it may seem jocular in terms of what I'm saying about the nurses and the health professionals, I actually think that there should be national thinking days where we sit down and think about what to do. As I was saying, Sky, if we would spend more time thinking, because see, for me, in the work I do, so let's assume I'm going to MC a program for a donor agency. All right, I don't want to mention the name. So maybe they are doing an intervention in something, some business thing or some health thing. I'm the MC. when they start engaging me and they start sending me the dossiers, I always tell myself, this is the product of intense thinking, careful planning, and a clear agenda. So nobody does anything just because we have to do it. So that's why I keep going back to speeches and what we do. So maybe we are doing something on, maybe, I don't want to use any country, but there's some government from some Western country is supporting women in tie and dye with some loans. Good. So they'll say, oh, Mr. Avle, you are the moderator. You are going to interview the ambassador and you're going to interview some bank manager. This is obviously from a policy that has been carefully thought through. They are very clear what they want to achieve in Ghana with us. It will benefit them eventually. It will make it seem as if it is going to benefit you, but it will benefit them eventually. And they have carefully calibrated the benefit they will get, right? In terms of, even sometimes to the granular level of how much money they will make from the project, all right? And it worries me that for us, we approach everything as happenstance. Oh, there's an opportunity to go to the UK to go nursing. Citizens can go. Citizens are not supposed to be doing the thinking for the country in that sense that they will sit there and say, how does my going to do nursing in the UK affect the GDP? That's not her job. She just wants to get a job for her kids to look after them. But somebody's supposed to sit there and say, okay, I'm the advisor to the president on health. What is the strategic plan for health professionals for the next 10 years? This is not an NDC MPP issue. Yeah. So what are we? Where does the Ghanaian nurse stand in the committee of nursing nations in terms of quality, customer service, in terms of areas of emphasis? That's question one. Question two: what can we do now so we will be relevant in the future? So we will not lack nurses. So we will not have unemployment. So you don't have to solve only one problem. As I always say, you can work and chew gum. So you can say, we need a 10-year strategic plan to address unemployment, to deal with the excesses of brain drain, but to also improve the quality of health professionals we have in our country all together. Then you call people and think deeply through it. You test it. And then you formulate a policy that can then have relevant laws. But if you just say, oh, people are going, let's make a law to arrest. No. So the policy comes from thinking. And the thinking is from the aspirations of the people that 10 years from now, we don't want to have 2 million young people who don't have work. And we don't want to have all our nurses living in the UK where there are no nurses here. So how do you balance the need for training and the brain drain? Think about it deeply and strategize for it. But we don't do that. What do? Call a minister, take a speech, come and read. Go to parliament. Yeah. Support our side of the argument. Whether what the side is saying is correct or wrong, we don't care. Once it's our party. That's it. Because the leadership is not really interested in development. I'm telling you that. Yesterday, Godfrey said something. The way that political parties strategize around elections, the thinking, the planning, the trickery, the subterfuge, the underground things they do.
They want to beat the system.
Good. Imagine if they said they want to beat the global system and that Ghana cannot be poor again. Ghana will be respected. If the same energy they used to fight each other and argue and insult each other and do all those conicorous things, they say, Charlie, Ghana has to survive. To apply the same level of thinking. You think we'll not be ahead? So they are not interested in. They are interested when they get the power, then they use the power to do their own thing. I'm telling you. Because this nursing thing, we've said it many times. And you see, the reason I'm sounding like I'm joking is that this argument, we've had it many times. And we've said it for free. That you don't even need to talk about preventing people from going anywhere. Right? See it as a competitive advantage. We will not do it. So the thing we're reading that they say the man said. He's just reading it. It's just English. They don't have any plan for any nurse, anything. They don't get nothing. No, they don't get no plan. They don't have any plan. They don't have any plan for you. They are not They are not thinking about any strategic nursing, anything. They are not. They are not. Oh, they are not. Nathan, they are not. So that's it. You see. So for me, I am. You see, as I say, if I don't water it down, I'll sound too upset. That's why I'm doing the thing I'm doing. But it is very, very sad. You see that such a big opportunity. We won't do anything about it. We'll talk, read some 1 or 2 speeches, no, we'll go back. Then 10 years down the line, you have unemployed people, poorly trained, cannot even be employed. You are not even talking about can't get job. The job will not even take them because they are not qualified. Because 2,000 of them were using 13 burettes. That's the issue. So you let me pay my bills and then come back in. Since the discussion is about to move to another level. So Nathan, tell us about the next issue.
Yeah, empower yourself with practical qualification in corporate finance, financial markets, and investment management, including practical application in financial modeling. CFA is a globally recognized standard for measuring the expertise, experience, and ethics of investment professionals. CFA Level 1 eligibility has been extended to uni students with less than 2 years remaining in their undergrad studies. Get the right tuition support from Benchmark and register now at benchmarkghana.com or call 0277 511 315 or 0249 944 442. Now, your favorite Coca-Cola is what you need to spice up all the occasions, and so you have to get the 300 ml Coke Classic. It's selling at 5 cedis. All others, Coke Zero, Fanta Sprite, selling at 4 cedis. If you want more, the 1.5 liter Coke is selling at 20 cedis, and the same size Coke Zero, Fanta Sprite are all selling at 18 cedis. Bring the excitement and fun to all your occasions and enjoy the real ice-cold refreshment with your friends and family. Creamy Plus evaporated milk takes you back to the original creamy taste of evaporated milk, and it's a great complement to your tea, coffee, gari, soakings, mashke, and all your cereals. It contains all the essential vitamins, has vegetable fat, and is gentler on the stomach. Find Creamy Plus in all Gold Shops, Bachana, Total, and other supermarkets in your neighborhood. And if you want to buy in bulk, call Let's Farm Distributors. They are at Medina Ritz Junction on 0501 682522, or Grace has found us at Akoko Photo in Dansoman on 0245 162747.
But I need to credit Sky because he's found another story. So every 10 minutes you pull something from some paper called the Vanguard. When it didn't work, he went to pull something from Dogbevi, Ghana Business News. So he's pulled another one. So you read it. So he's researching about why nurses should not leave Ghana. So with this one, where did you find this one?
So this one is from Graphic Online, and they published this. What do you call it? What clearly is an editorial.
It's an editorial.
Yeah, that's right. On an earlier story that they had published.
Okay.
Which editorial suggests that about 3,000 of our nurses left the jurisdiction last year alone.
2022.
Yes, 2022.
3,000 nurses.
Yeah, that year alone. And
that would be the least. That would be the least number.
In comparison to what?
In comparison to the real figures.
Year on year. In other words, it's bigger.
It's more than.
What? People more than 3,000 people left?
Because see, this figure you are getting is from a source from the Ghana Registered Nurses Association, right?
Yeah.
There are some nurses who have graduated and haven't gotten their PIN yet, or they get their PIN and they don't even get employed because there's no vacancy, and they also go.
So they are not captured in this.
They are not captured in this one. We have at least 400 nurses leaving every month.
Hey, 400,
yes.
That's a lot. 400. Bernard.
Why you are sad?
No, he's Ebola. Let me read one message before you continue. Bernard, Italy, Estonia, and Malta are employing nurses from Ghana. Just at our general hospital here in Italy, we have 6 Ghanaian medical personnel working currently. They all got employed in 2021. I will try and get you her contact so you can interview her.
Okay, let me add a couple more messages before we go on.
Yeah.
So this one says, I work at a health center. I work every day in the week, every few days to attend to, a few days to attend to my family is a problem. If the folks in the community come to the clinic and don't see me, they send a report to the district health director who will go hard at me. Should I live for my work to the detriment of my family? I had promotion 2 years ago. It has not reflected on my payslip. Resources to work are non-existent. I can go on and on and on. Good morning, Bernard and team. This is Maxwell from Northridge. So it says that, why is Richard behaving like an Agama lizard?
Agama lizard.
Is it a crime to be born in a country where there are no jobs, low salary if employed now? If you want to travel to hustle and make it, two people will make noise and block the opportunity. So ask Richard, what does he want from us?
You go blow alarm.
This one says
to the UK Parliament.
This one says, Sky, argument has no basis this morning. I tell you that some of these health workers are leaving because they're angry at the system and the politicians, and not merely just for greener pastures. Most of them are willing to work, but the continuous waves of corruption and mismanagement from the politicians makes them angry. Again, are these health workers not paying tax? Prince from Tema. Skype, when you go to the Philippines, almost everyone has a relative in the US, UK, or Canada. And their government is supporting them to travel overseas and work. Remittances bring billions to the economy. We should be thinking of using education in developing our country and exporting a lot to bring money. Good morning, Bernard. The issue of the exodus of nurses has been that since God knows when. It's about demand and supply and how much you want to pay for the services nurses provide. How can you expect a parent who pays 8,000 Ghana cedis bribe for a child to gain access into a public nursing training college to sit down and watch his child at home for years without working? Please tell the last guy that he should not pour sand into a gari. Good morning, Bernard.
Good morning.
I have friends who are now even willing to leave this country to go out there and sweep the streets out there. The Ghanaian system is just a bomb. Unemployment rate has quadrupled. And our vice president says he has provided 2.3 million jobs. Okay. Kweku is not very happy
They say
this
he was
morning.
misreported.
Okay. Morning, Bernard. Please tell Sky that the UK is not it's not putting a gun on any nurse said to immigrate. With meager nurses' salary, my sister could not even save enough to buy a land that was worth 50,000 Ghana cedis. UK is the way. Are you aware there are more Ghanaian doctors in New York than the whole of Ghana?
That's not true.
New York alone.
That thing, I saw it somewhere, but I am told that it's not factual. It's not true.
Yes. And this one says, Bernard, I'm a lawyer and I don't agree with Sky. Even those of us who are not nurses don't agree with it.
You know the funny thing is, I was saying that if I need somebody, and you see, I'm making it me and Sky just for sake of argument, right? But I feel like it's painful because this discussion has been held many times.
Several times.
Solutions have been provided, but it seems as if we are not interested in the solution. And I'm talking now as the leadership of the country.
I'm happy you've arrived there.
Yeah. Now, final message from this guy. He's called Solution Clenham Agbozume.
Agbozume.
No, his name is Solution. No,
it's just a nickname or something.
Yeah, but good morning, Bernard. Thank you for your stance on the issue concerning this and how they are traveling outside the country and how connecting it with what's happening in Ghana. Please allow Sky to answer this question. Would you advise his sister to stay if she has the opportunity to fly to the London as a nurse? My name is Solution Clenham from Agbozume. Can you mention it? Can you answer the question?
That's personalized.
Solution Clenham.
See, Bernard, for me, I don't think there's anything wrong with nurses going anywhere.
This guy. You thought you were coming to support him.
I don't think there's anything wrong with nurses going anywhere. Same as engineers will go somewhere, and like somebody said, there's a demand and supply thing, and I've been following the conversation, and it's beginning to sound like the UK government just woke up and took this decision last week. No, this red list has been there like forever, and we as a country has been on the red list since 2008.
Okay.
And so what we are referring to as a ban is not a ban. Okay, it's to safeguard our community, health community, if you like. And this is a WHO, code of conduct, which the NHS is drawing from. But guess what? The NHS, being United Kingdom institution, finds ways to go around this thing.
I see.
They now will be the system.
You see, they refer to the WHO code of practice, and then they find way to go around it. They say that, because of that, and really, being on the red list only is an indication of your low density, as in nurse to population ratio. That's all it is. It's not because you're a poor country or whatever. Okay. Now, they now come back and say that, because of that, we as a country or NHS cannot come to your country and then do direct recruitment. But
we will accept people when they
you
come.
You can apply directly.
Look at that.
You understand?
Look at that.
Hitherto, agencies were very active in this business. Okay? So agencies that were connected to NHS hospitals will actually physically travel to third world countries.
To do the recruitment.
Now, guess what? Commonwealth countries specifically.
All right.
And then do the recruitment. So now when you are red listed, all they say is remove the agency from there.
So it's the people's own volition.
Let's look at the marketing equation. if the demand is high, do you need an agency?
Never. In fact, you don't even need to pay to an agency. It's even better to just
The
go
demand
straight.
is already high, so you don't need. So since 2008, when we were put on red list, which list is reviewed, at that time they had about 147 countries. They keep reviewing it. At this point, we have 48 countries or 47 countries. Ghana is still there. But ask yourself, has it stopped anything?
No.
Will it stop anything? It won't.
It's actually increasing.
It will not stop anything because it's a certain cycle of repatriation of hard currency. The person that leaves Ghana, okay, we also goes there and then creates a certain value from the money that is repatriated back into our economy.
That's the whole story.
Otherwise, we don't have enough exports to bring the foreign exchange.
Which we badly need anyway.
Which we badly need. So, look at me. My mother was a nurse. Was a community health nurse for a very long time. Guess what? Back in the day, no UK nursing, even nursing home, will not take will take a community health nurse from Ghana. But today, they are recruiting community health nurses.
Direct.
They recruit community health nurses today. So
it's not even just the high level, like
I'm telling you, they recruit community health nurses. You have agents, because thing is, UK currently has almost maybe 800 to 900,000 nurses.
What do you mean? Almost 1 million nurses?
Yes, they have almost 1 million nurses.
And how many do you have here?
Of the million nurses that they have, only 50% of them are captured in the NHS. We have 38,000.
So where are the rest captured?
They work outside of the NHS.
But within the health sector?
Yes.
So they are not paid directly by the government?
No, yes, because there are foundations there are other institutions, there are...
And then you said we have how many? 13,000?
We have 38,000.
38,000
as
nurses in
of
Ghana.
a couple of years ago.
You get me? So what I'm saying is that they are just solving their problems. They have identified their reality, crafted whatever solution it is, and the solution also requires that they import nurses from outside. Now, seeing that this thing, we don't have what it takes to stop it, we should now look at how we can benefit from it as a country. In fact, that's the reason Kweku Agyeman tried to broker a deal for the nurses so that government will be paid. Remember?
They were paying, he said £1,000.
They didn't succeed. They didn't finish that thing, because the moment you do that, you are removed from the red list to the amber list. And once you get to the amber list, what it does is you are supposed to stick to the MOU that allows country to country recruitment. Nothing outside of that, which means that if it says that by the head count, every person that gets employed in the UK, every nurse that gets employed in the UK, the government is going to benefit, say, £500. It means everybody that is employed, they will pay £500. So you have countries like Malaysia, you have countries like Sri Lanka, you have countries like, I think, even Nepal, who are on the amber list.
So is that better than the red list?
I can't say that. I will measure it based on the volume of total repatriation that comes back into the country. Because as a poor country as we are, this thing has been significantly helpful to us, this repatriation. Because otherwise, where were you going to get the dollar from? Bernard, you made reference to that.
Almost £4 billion in 2020.
And how much are we looking for from the World Bank?
$3 billion. It's the same thing. So it's the same thing. So I was just coming to the point about the amber list. So are you saying that the government of Ghana will be better advised to engage the UK government to structure it?
Of course.
See how
that way, the government of Ghana can also hoodwink the UK government to help us rebuild our nursing institutions.
That's what I was saying.
To rebuild our nursing, because you see, it's a demand and supply thing. We can't stop it. So let's play ball. But let's play ball not at our expense entirely.
Let me ask you something else, since you seem to know a lot about this. Would you say the same thing if these arguments were made for doctors?
It's the same thing.
Because, nurses, I'm asking because nurses are different grades. Community, Then there's normal. I don't want to call it normal, like the green wearers, the brown people, and then the white. So I'm trying to say that nurses are so varied.
But guess what?
And some of them can be trained very quickly.
They can, yes. But guess what? About 50% of the nurses in the UK are just adult nurses.
What do you mean?
I mean, they take care of adults.
What do you mean by adults?
As
hospice
palliative.
No, you're talking about old people.
Yeah, geriatric. You know, about 50%.
The aged.
Yes. So there are people here who may have been trained as specialists in those who do theater nursing and all these things. But when they specialists in so and so, when they go there, they throw all their specialists away and go and do any work. They go and do anything. For some of them live here as proper nurses, get there and they never see a proper hospital.
What? So they are going to
work in homes.
Do they know that that's what they are going to do?
They know. They don't look at what they are going to do. They look at the money. You are sitting here talking about 27,000 pounds a year. I mean, frankly, when you hear 27,000 pounds a year, don't be deceived.
It's not a lot.
Don't be deceived. I mean, you can save. If you live a proper life, you can save. But out of the 27,000, out of that 12,000, definitely is for rent. And depending on where you live, if you live in London, another 5,000 is for transportation.
And it's left with 17. 17 is gone, so 10,000 left.
Utilities. And then utilities is coming. You are coming to food.
The thing is going on.
So I'm just saying that people still make money out of that. But guess what? There are people who migrated as nurses and doctors to the United Kingdom, to the UK, to the US, who are still living poor lives.
Oh, I thought you said they should go.
No, I'm just saying that it's not that the moment you get there, all your problems are solved. But because we can't do anything about it, we need to now devise a means to benefit from it as a country.
I was asking if we brought this to doctors, you would say the same thing. Because I'm asking because, see, doctors, it takes a longer time to train them. And the doctor ratio is much worse in Ghana than the nurse ratio. So we seem to need a lot more of them. And also, I do know that, again, doctors' training is subsidized, right? So I don't know if you would say that if our doctors are also leaving in the same droves they are leaving, the government should also just go and play ball like the way the other countries are doing the government. Should there not be a more nuanced approach to the doctors just because they are fewer and just because their skill sets are a bit higher?
The answer is yes, there should be. But the question is, do we have what it takes? Do we have what it takes? And I don't think we do. But you see, it's not new. It's not new. It's just taking different forms. Look, the people who have worked in Kolebu will tell you that in the 80s, the mass exodus of doctors to Saudi Arabia, to Qatar, to Kuwait, to the UK. In fact, the UK wasn't even the most attractive place. In Kolebu, doctors, proper doctors, that the whole hospital depended on them, they just left. Went to Saudi, went to Kuwait, because the system could not.
King Saud or King Fahd hospital.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I'm saying my mother also went.
Oh, she also went to
Saudi Arabia as a nurse. You see?
Did you follow her there?
Oh, no. But I'm just saying that it's not new. I think the ratio has increased. The ratio has increased, and we are in a far worse situation to help ourselves as a country. You get me? But if you look at it, I just go back to the repatriation of the dollar. Because the need that we face today is foreign exchange. That thing is bringing us foreign exchange. Let's structure it properly so we can get even better.
So even on doctors, you would say, yes, there has to be some engagement, but you still not prevent them because you cannot.
Because we can't.
You cannot
and the doctors, every doctor, look, every other doctor you know, a young doctor you know, is writing his exams or their exams to enter New York or UK. I'm telling you.
I met a doctor in December at Kolebu. He was a specialist and he was like, Charlie, it's because of your show that some of us are here, because my mates, about half of them are gone.
Oh, half they say.
And he said some of them are some of them are doing
young
like
doctor doing the
head of department and things.
The food bazaar.
Yeah.
I met him. Yeah. Only last week I asked of him, where is the guy? He said he's in the UK. Oh, is he on leave? He said no, he's going to write his exam so that he will stay there.
But this problem is happening in Nigeria as well. And you mentioned Nigeria, and
plenty.
That just to throw in something that Nigeria is trying to do to solve their problem, and also meeting significant resistance. I think it was on Friday or so that the House of Representatives, there's a bill that they are discussing to keep Nigerian doctors 5 years after graduation before you can leave, and it has passed the second reading stage. So it's entering the third.
Would that include a politician?
Consideration
Would that
phase.
include Nigerian politicians too?
Yeah. And some of the arguments that have been made just for and against, as for instance, and some of the proposals are that they will, once you graduate, they'll issue you a partial license to practice. And then after you serve the 5 years, you get the full license. Now, those against are also saying, then who is going to a doctor who has only a partial license? Practice.
I think they are thinking. They are actually thinking, because the doctor who's properly so qualified in Ghana may not be qualified in the UK, in the US. That's the reason when you go, you have to write another exam.
Oh, yeah, because the regulations and the requirements are different.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, Cuba, Norway, they actually do what you are talking about, but in a different way. That you don't just graduate as a doctor in Cuba and then go to America. Would they have had any doctors left in Cuba?
But what model?
For us to benefit from as a
Let me read a
country,
quote
yeah.
from the president of the PRO of the Association of Psychiatrists in Nigeria, for instance, Dr. Okudil Obayi. He's making a human rights argument against this. And if you know how Nigeria works, like I said, if this thing has entered the third phase, it looks like it will go. And he says that it is very unfortunate for anybody to think like this. Very unfortunate in the sense that you are infringing on people's human rights to freedom. Even if the person was sponsored or trained free by the country cannot say don't leave unless there's a bond signed. Look at it. Why select doctors? Every other person has the right to travel. Why should it only be doctors that should not travel? Brain drain is in all aspects. In recent times, we have witnessed a wave of people leaving the health sector, doctors, nurses, pharmacists, and all that. It is higher than what they used to be in the past. But then denying them a license until they practice for at least 5 years is not the answer to it. He says, we know the main causes of the brain drain and that they are large. Supposing one wants to look at what makes people leave the health sector, one may say services, salary, rewards, poor working conditions, general insecurity, and he says that doctors have been kidnapped more than any other profession in the country. They have a unique situation there. But basically he says the government needs to find another solution. But the government also says, well, the House of Representatives, if you listen to some of the key leaders who are speaking on the matter, they are saying, well, we are going to get this thing done.
I want to ask something before you come in. So Professor Peter Korte, your friend, he and a lady called Evelyn Kwachi did a study. What's the title of the study?
The study is titled
The Net Impact of
the net benefit
of migration.
The case of migrant nurses from Ghana to the United Kingdom.
Good.
And the conclusion is very
yes, that's what I wanted you to read. I wanted you to read the conclusion.
Okay.
So they wanted to find out whether, when you put everything together, Samuel is talking about the money they bring. So the net benefit of the migrants over what period? This is from 1990 to 2004.
They covered a vast period.
So there's almost 15 years in their study. So what was the conclusion?
Okay, so let me read the conclusion for you. It says that the focus of the study was to examine the net impact of skilled worker migrants, particularly the outflow of Ghanaian nurses from Ghana to the United Kingdom due to relaxed migration policies of the receiving country. Now, the key findings from the study include, first, the majority of nurses surveyed in the UK were from 3 ethnic groups in Ghana, namely Akan, Avle, and Gadangbe.
Yeah, the three musketeers.
Now, they were mostly married, and their spouses worked as doctors, nurses, teachers, or accounting personnel.
Okay.
Now, the respondents were mostly aged between 30
and 45
years.
Productive age.
That's right. And on the average, had 2 to 3 children. Now,
A number of them had
a
graduated.
greater number of them had graduated between 1990 and 2005.
I'm in that group.
It is therefore not surprising that the majority of them migrated between 2000 and 2005 to enjoy better conditions of service. Now, the respondents indicated that they were satisfied with their current job and had the opportunity to upgrade themselves. Similarly, their counterparts in Ghana were mostly female, married, and had up to 3 children. Staff morale was low compared to their counterparts in the UK, and they worked for longer hours with less remuneration.
So despite what you are saying, that the money will go into rent and things, they will still find a way to develop themselves. They will still find a way to save money.
Develop themselves?
Go to school and do. But that's what the report is saying.
That's right. That nurses, when they are in...
No, they just read it. It's there.
I will challenge this report.
No. The respondents indicated that they were satisfied with their current job and had the opportunity to upgrade themselves.
You have the opportunity, but do they?
Well, that's what the study is saying.
I will doubt that.
Okay, let me finish.
Let him finish.
Now, migration has positive net private and aggregate welfare gains. And it was also evident that there was no significant difference in outcomes between liberal and strict regimes, since the NHS Code of Conduct had little effect on the outflow of nurses.
They'll go all the same.
It must be emphasized that the aggregate net benefit excludes social costs. That's where my emphasis is.
I can see.
Arising from deaths due to nurse migration to the UK.
I know you wanted to go there.
Which results in shortage of nurses in the Ghanaian medical system. If it was possible to estimate this cost, the net social benefit could be negative.
Why are you shouting?
No, I just want to emphasize.
But that's obvious. That's what I'm saying.
Hence, the impact of rich countries' policies on poverty in Ghana is analyzed in terms of its impact on health outcomes in Ghana.
Okay.
Now, the study concludes that the outflow of nurses has had an impact on health outcomes in Ghana.
Is it?
And this is evidenced by the shortfall in nurses within some of the regional health centers in Ghana. Although the aggregate population per nurse and outpatient per nurse ratios had improved between 2001 and 2004. Now, this has been possible because of the increased enrollment of nurses to fill the vacancies created by the influx. In addition to the establishment of private nursing training institutions. For instance, between 1999 and 2005, the number of trained nurses and midwives increased by about 70%. Now, this obviously had serious implications on government expenditure and poverty in Ghana. Also, the upsurge in nurse migration from the country coincided with significant increases in the infant mortality rates at the national level. Even though most of the regions had larger share of the available nurses in the country in the period under consideration. In conclusion, migration of nurses from Ghana has had a positive net impact, but this excludes deaths associated with out-migration of nurses. If one could cause the deaths due to staff shortage, etc., the net benefit of nurse migration from Ghana could be negative, and it can be concluded that migration of skilled labor worsens livelihood, i.e. poverty.
Charlie, I don't know how long it took to find this. You've been looking for some ammunition to stem the flow. You know, we'll take a break and come back and wrap up on this discussion. We're happy to hear from you. If you can send us a voice note. If you're a health professional, I want to hear from you. What about your work? Are we misunderstanding in the discussion? Or what are the other dimensions of the issue that you feel we should highlight as we discuss this migration of health professionals on the Citi Breakfast Show? It's 9:15. Stay with us.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Easter means family time and sharing fun moments together. Whether it's traveling up the cold mountains, spending time at home, or hitting up with the boys, it's always exciting. And this season, everyone's invited to enjoy entertainment at its best with GoTV. Come on in and join Africa's biggest local stars, the world's best sports talent, the greatest international sensations, the coolest kids characters, and the hottest reality celebs. With so much on offer, it's the best deal for entertainment at its best. Obiadium. Stay connected on *759# and make the family time great this Easter. GoTV. Love it.
Charlie, Bet365 is now officially live in Ghana. If you're into your sports, there's never been a better time to get involved. Get a piece of the action and bet across a range of markets on the biggest sports. And if you like your soccer, it gets even better. 2 Bet365 soccer jackpots are available every week over the entire season. You could win up to 5 million cedis for betting as little as 2 cedis. Hiya! Yanko! Visit the official site at bet365.com.gh and join. Over 18s only. Terms and conditions apply. Please bet responsibly. Bet365.com.gh is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
Each year, 18,000 children are born in Ghana with sickle cell disease, and 1 in 3 Ghanaians have the sickle cell trait. Many discover their sickle cell genotype only after the birth of a precious child with the condition. But do you know that sickle cell disease can be prevented? It starts with knowing your genotype. Do you also know that sickle cell is not a death sentence? With early diagnosis and the right medical care, some are living to celebrate their 90th birthdays. That is why the International Sickle Cell Center and Airtel Tigo are pushing the Touching Lives initiative to raise awareness. My name is Dr. Mary Anson. Get tested to know your sickle cell genotype. To learn more, visit www.iicc.international.
This initiative is brought to you by the International Sickle Cell Center, ISCC, in partnership with Airtel Tigo Touching Lives.
Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
1xBet. Easy betting, easy winnings. 1xBet, reliable bookmaker that offers you a huge range of bonuses, great odds, and many chances to win. Register now on 1xBet.com.gh and use promo code PLAY1 to get 300% bonus up to 3,445 Ghana cedis on your first deposit. 1xBet gives you more.
Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly. Not for person under 18 years. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
You're gonna walk the talk and talk the walk. You're gonna walk the talk and talk the walk. You're gonna walk the talk and talk. My brothers and my sisters. You're gonna walk the talk and talk the walk. You're gonna walk the talk and talk the walk. You're gonna walk the talk. Can I get a witness? Be mindful of the stones you throw.
21 minutes past 9. So at long last, Sky, there's a message that supports you. Hello, Bernard. Human capital is arguably the most important resource to any economy.
God bless you.
After 20 to 30 years, the nurses who leave Ghana will be going out of work, and their children who were born and raised abroad may not have the level of attachment to Ghana to still be remitting back home. There is no nation-building economic justification for allowing the export of human capital. Absolutely no justification. Even if it is true that there is any net benefit, it will be very short-term. #CityCBS.
Thank you. God bless you. Why you go to heaven?
Obama has been struggling on the show today. Now let me read it again. I think it's a nice message for you. Yes. So human capital is arguably the most important resource to any economy. After 20 to 30 years, the nurses who leave will be going out of work, and their children who were born and raised abroad may not have the level of attachment to Ghana to still be sending money back home. There is no nation-building economic justification for allowing the export of human capital. Absolutely no justification. Even if it is true that there is any net benefit, it will be very, very short-term. Charlie, bro.
Can I read something from William Ofori?
Charlie, he's a health professional, man.
Yeah.
Read them.
It's all about having a structured deal. In a structured deal, the receiving country pays a realistic amount to the country to cover reasonable pay cost of training. Should not be one-off, but annual. They should provide grants to support educational institutions, the point we made earlier. Then you have a system where after 10 to 15 years, they return to improve the system with knowledge transfer. They should be structured. There should be a structured system to make it easy to send money back. Kenya has a system sending people to hospitals, to the hospitality industry in Dubai. That's true. Kenyans are one of the most foreign nationals in the 4 to 5 star hotels in UAE and Emirates. And then the Philippines have done same with house helps and hotel room service. And then the Cubans with doctors.
I want to come to Cuba in a second. But here's a comment. Samuel is spot on. Wow, he's super well informed. Where did you get all this information from? Here is the thing. In Ghana, you as a consultant will take home about £1,000. So 12,000 pounds per annum after taxes. Go to the UK, you take home over £10,000 monthly. Even as a junior doctor, which is where you start from, it's £2,500. So it's not even a contest. So in Ghana, a consultant takes £1,000 a month. And in UK, the equivalent is 10,000. Right? So a junior doctor even earns more in the UK than a consultant in Ghana. And he's saying that you get filler. But your mother was a nurse, so you know the system. So you mentioned Philippines and certain class of workers, Kenya, and then Cuba. I want to talk about Cuba. So how are they able to export doctors to the extent that they don't even lack? Cuba doesn't have a health crisis. I don't even think in COVID Cuba suffered. Yet there are Cuban doctors everywhere. So and this is to the gentleman who was saying that there's no economic justification for exporting doctors or whatever. So how does Cuba do it? So is it a deliberate strategy to export?
I think their training is, if you like, more inward looking than export focused, such that you really, for instance, a Cuban doctor who wants to migrate to America will have to write every exam as if he were just doing the whole medical school again, you know. So they have identified their problems, you know, and their medical training is actually tailored to suit their problems. You get me? So that's why I was saying off air that can we look at a situation where we put weights on our problems, as in weighted, and then see which ones we can handle best, and then use that to restructure the curriculum of our nursing training and medical institutions, so that a Ghanaian doctor can stand out as a Ghanaian doctor, or there's a professional pathway that you choose. If you want to do a doctor training that is global in nature, you pay more because see it costs the government so much to train one doctor, and yet they don't live to receive all the benefit. So then people who want to do that kind of pathway where the training gives you a global appeal, you should pay more like it's paid in the countries that you are going to. Because if you want to be a doctor in America, Sky, how much does it cost? You understand? So we should provide pathways and say, okay, you want this level of medical education that makes you a doctor fit for purpose as a Ghanaian doctor, which also gives you the opportunity to upgrade in a way that will give you a global appeal. That one should come easier. If you want the straightforward, the one that will give you access to other countries, you should start paying the money like they are paying in the other countries. So that if you finish paying and you want to go, it's your own palaver.
And this is health policy that the Ministry of Health must embark
I
on?
think it's a conversation that academia and everybody should
Must
start
get
talking
involved.
about. Yes.
Yeah, because it's such a big issue. If you say 400 a month.
Yes. Let me do some rough math for you on the Cuban one.
Mhm.
So I'm looking at their numbers. Cuba makes $11 billion from exporting.
Oh, how? 11 billion.
It is the single largest income earner of the
Are you
country.
serious?
So
per annum?
Yes. Cuba exchanges doctors for oil, exchanges doctors for everything.
And why can't we do that?
Here, for instance, Cuba has a massive deal
It's
with
not
Brazil.
go for oil, doctor for oil.
Brazil imports a lot of doctors
from Cuba.
In fact, recently there was a fight cry over it.
Wow.
So Cuba recalled some of it. So I'm just going to work rough numbers for you. So for the Brazil situation, Brazil pays $3,600 per doctor per month to Cuba.
Hey.
Now they have. Hold on.
But do they pay the doctors too when they go to Brazil?
Yes. Now there's a problem here because the Cuban government is accused of using the doctors as slaves, basically because they collect the money. That's what I want. Yeah, the money.
But do the doctors get paid?
Yes. But that's the money. That's the salary I'm telling you.
And the government takes the money.
Yes. So it's $3,600.
So the government pays you.
No. The money is paid. Yes, the government pays you, but the money is paid to
the government.
The government.
Oh, but that one the Ghana ain't paying you.
No. Bernard, the thing is that you either participate or you don't even get a job in Cuba. That's how it works.
So here's the thing.
It's only Cuba. You know what happened for
Ghana, you go start in Ghana. How many people? 3,600.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that
even
I'm
if
coming.
they give you $1,500 out of that.
If my money enter government, it won't come back to me.
No, but that's their system. So they have 8,300 there. So if you work the numbers, that's $360 million each year.
$360 million
Yes.
each year.
Now they've done deals with Algeria, Kenya, and Uganda. Simple. They are trading cash for the doctors. Now, what Cuba gets, according to what I'm reading, is badly needed cash for its, of course, economy. Because we all know what the issue with Cuba.
The suffer. The US people know they give them
you
chance.
know. And then here comes your concern with the doctors. So Cuba's monthly minimum wage is around $25, rising to $54. So even in Brazil, even with the Cuban government taking most of their salary, they are still getting about $1,000 a month, which for them is big money. So yeah, the government is collecting 3,000 something and then giving them around 1,000.
But Ghana nurses will not agree.
Now and then you go on strike.
Oh, they won't.
They will.
That the government should be paid before the government will pay us back.
Bernard, you see, it's a long chain of activities. Talk about the cost of training the Cuban doctor. In Cuba, mind you, medical education is free.
Okay.
Medical education is free. So the government trains you for free, like we used to have in the past in Ghana. And then they secure a job for you. Which job, if you were in your country, you probably will get about 30% of that remuneration. So you are given to Brazil, and you receive at the end of the day, say $1,500, while the government collects $2,000. You get me? So I'm just saying that it's an equation that can improve, but it's not bad. The most important thing is to be able to structure a deal and invest into the training. You see,
that's the
if we don't invest into the training, then we are in trouble. We have to invest in it. And the countries that are benefiting, we need to lock them into the training thing so that they will become, partners, because they need us.
So 8,300 doctors multiplied by $3,600 is $360 million. So how did you get your 11 billion?
No, generally, hold on 1 second.
Well, the 11 billion is...
It's a lot of money for you.
Yeah, because I only have 360 million a year. So how does that...
From what?
So basically, you have 8,300...
So leasing, yes. So leasing healthcare professionals to foreign governments brings them in 11 billion.
In total?
In total.
So the 360 million is just
yearly.
Brazil?
Yes, with Brazil. That's what they have 8,300 doctors in Brazil.
Oh, in Brazil alone?
This is just Brazil.
In Brazil alone. Hey, but then what kind of doctors are they?
No, Cuba. If
how can you have 8,000?
No, Cuba has almost more than 3 times as many doctors per capita.
No, how do you train 8,300 doctors and send to one country?
Bernard, no, it's not per year.
Yeah.
It's not per year.
It's not per year.
Yeah, but they are mass producing the doctors.
Yes.
Yes.
Look at the. I sent
That's
you.
what they
report.
do.
I sent you a general article.
But can you mass produce doctors? Because
Okay, so
you have only
mass
two things.
production.
let me tell you.
No,
let me tell you what it is.
hold on. I'm trying to ask something. Is the Cuban doctor the average doctor you have in Ghana?
Maybe not.
Call them
No,
the family doctor.
Yeah, they're generally family medicine. Yeah, but I'm saying that maybe not. That's why I said that they are trained for specific purposes. You understand? And if they have to cross borders, they have to now do the adaptation. And then, but generally speaking, they are benefiting from this structured deal of exporting medical. Not to their detriment, mind you.
So they don't have a shortage of doctors in Cuba.
No.
So you sent me something in French.
No, it's actually in English. Actually, it's it's bilingual. So,
okay.
So if you look at the introduction of that article, it tells you how Cuba has been able to do it. The title of the article is a general article, "The Health System in Cuba: Origin, Doctrine, and Results." Is by Salim Lamrani. It's a 2022 publication.
Oh, then I need to read it.
It's a very.
So let me just give you quick numbers. This on what they do. So the state takes 75% of salaries. And
What percentage?
75.
Because they invested in the training.
They currently have 50,000 health professionals spread across 67 countries.
Jesus Christ. 67 countries.
Yes, 50,000. They charge for them all.
How did they do it? In this article, it says.
Are they proper doctors?
They are proper.
Have you been to St. Joseph in Kofodia? Go to St. Joseph in Kofodia. Just go to Kofodia. Go to St. Joseph.
Because I've heard some people
Who will treat you?
that. Okay, that was a different country, not Cuba.
Oh, they are proper doctors.
I said go to St. Joseph here with your broken bone.
But several countries benefit from Cuba's production line of
Including Ghana.
Is it as early as 1959, Cuba made the choice to create a public, universal, and free healthcare system, making the health of the population a national priority, and dedicating the largest part of the national budget to this sector, in excess of 27% of whatever it was, by focusing its health philosophy on prevention and on the family doctor model, and relegating commercial considerations to the background. The island has obtained remarkable results, unprecedented for a third world country with limited resources and under economic sanctions for more than half a century. The excellence achieved in the field of health has thus, enabled the island to form an abundant human capital whose expertise is now in demand around the world, to the point of making international medical cooperation the first source of income for Cuba. That's what Godfred was saying. This contribution to the emergencies that occur across the planet, and its capacity to respond to epidemics and natural disasters has led Havana to develop a health diplomacy unparalleled in the world and to strengthen the prestige of its health system. By making health a state monopoly, not subject to budgetary constraints, Cuba has been able to put in place a strategy of prevention and fight against emerging diseases such as COVID-19, which has proved to be highly effective. Therefore, allowing the competent authorities to provide quality protection to citizens and to have one of the lowest rates of infection and lethality in the world. By placing the patient at the center of the health project, Havana has shown that it is possible to provide top quality services to the population despite the structural constraints.
It means that people, as they say, before you are thinking, somebody has thought. So that the Cubans have taken this into the next level.
And they are training.
75% to the
No, what I'm saying is that you see, it depends on how much the government has invested in its training.
Yeah, theirs is free, so.
But let's not forget something.
The
point here, reading this article, seems to be that they ensured a certain level of sufficiency for their people.
Yes.
So the people have good access to doctors.
Yes.
You understand?
But
Before they now decided that, okay, let's expand to the world and export
Back to
to
the
the
argument
world.
about it before.
So let's feed our
And
family.
see, there's some history to this, because in 1959, okay, now Cuba had only 6,286 physicians for a population of 6 million. So that was about one doctor to about 1,064 people. Now you had a good number of them leaving at a point. So that was when the government decided to put together this new policy of producing a lot more doctors. And they did so based on certain principles, like health being a people's right. The health of the population is the responsibility of the state. Health services are equally accessible to the population. Health practices have a solid scientific basis. Health actions have a preventive orientation. Wonderful. Social participation is inherent in the use and development of health services, and international solidarity will be a practice of the health services.
Wonderful stuff. We'll read some comments. I think we are making progress in the sense that there are examples elsewhere. This is actually not as complicated as we originally thought, and you can actually solve multiple problems with this. So let's read some of your comments this morning.
Okay, this one says, while I agree that nurses should be allowed to leave for greener pastures, the use of the word family is being taken out of context. I think Sky means the nation being a priority to the nurse instead of UK or US. Okay, so that's another Sky party member. This one says, one innovative way is for government to control the workforce in the health sector and register all these nurses traveling to the UK or elsewhere. The next move is to sign an MOU with the countries who are in demand, for our nurses to pay more to our nurses, say £5,000. Each nurse pays £500 to the Ghanaian government, and the country can make some good money from this exchange.
Hold on. Why I think this is one of the most sensible contributions is what you just read is exactly what the agencies are doing with our nurses.
I see.
Exactly. The agency that comes to take you from Ghana to the UK, the money that you are paid, they are taking about 40%.
Hey!
Yes, and you sign for 3 years.
Hey! Wait, so for 3 years?
And you sign for 3 years, you are paying about 40% to the agency. So now the government now enters as an agency. You get me? So it's happening already.
Wow. No, it's serious. Everybody chop money. Who owns the agencies?
Are you getting ideas?
More comments.
More comments. All right, this one says, please tell Richard to stop talking.
No, that was old. That was a long time ago. So now the guy has got more ammunition.
All right, this one says, please tell the government to find very proactive ways of sitting the UK government down to negotiate proper.
That's what we are saying now.
All right. These ones came very early.
Yeah, initially it was
Charlie.
Sky
was in the crosshairs.
It was struggling, Charlie. 97.3 Citi FM is 20 minutes to 10. Standard Water has for the past 25 years been providing quality and refreshing water to quench your thirst. Our water is available in 11 regions of Ghana and is still expanding to cover the rest of the country. We have sachet, bottled, dispenser mounted raw water, customized water for your parties and social occasions. For quality water, drink Standard Water. Call 0202 055 703 or 0547 334 385. This advert is FDA approved.
We are talking health, and so your health is important to you. Visit Vigdank Healthcare. It's a Ghana Health Service certified healthcare center that specializes in kidney stones, hepatomegaly, hypertension, fatty liver treatment, among others. They are on the Spintex Road behind the Standard Chartered Bank. You can call them on 0549 951 211 or 0502 661 346.
We'll take a break and we'll come back with more of your comments. We thank you for sharing. If you have voice notes, you can also send 054 998 6996. Send audios. Just want to hear from generally people who are in the system, doctors, pharmacists, lab technicians, nurses. I have a few friends who actually have left the system. Actually, some of them, they will call, hey, Aloski, you still in Ghana, they suffer. Charlie, they shout. They make you look like that place, they be and something else I'll tell you. I have people who do UK and prepare to go to US.
Yeah.
So some of them go and take some exams and then they spend like 2 years and then They move to Canada as well.
You
So
know,
a lot of them are.
when you speak to the people there, I think they'll say, "Oh, why I used to." Generally, I think it's because things generally work better.
Oh yes.
You know, you might earn a lot more, and or you might get taxed a lot more. But I think people
Actually, there's a
just
message
take
supporting
comfort-
that.
Yes.
So Bernard, sometimes the immigration to developed countries is not so much the money to be made as the convenience. Whatever you need, you will find in the shop near you. Appliances are not as expensive as they are here, nor is food and things like transport services.
But how many people buy with cash in those countries?
The credit card. No, credit card. No, but let me finish the message. At the end of the day, you may just be breaking even after taxes, bills, and so on.
That is true.
But life is much more comfortable than here in Ghana.
Until you are 60 years.
That is why people end up staying there for so long and can't even afford plane ticket for an occasional funeral. Not to mention the relief of getting away from the politics we practice here. Listening to the likes of Brian Champon back by Nana B. The team take pass side.
But somebody also says we should
Yeah.
find out from the Ghana Health Service and the Ministry of Health how many of the first batch of nurses who went to Barbados returned home last year. The number of them have left for the US, UK, Canada, and other places.
The other thing we should actually find out is what is the government of Ghana's policy for migration of health professionals. If there is none, we can actually start asking for some, because everything starts from policy. So Sky, maybe you can check that, not today, if there's a GOG policy or even in any draft stage, because a lot of the things we said on this program can actually inform the policy. All right. So please, if you are, and it's a lot of government people listen to me, please, if there's a GOG policy, I'm not sure there is. If there were, we would have seen it. But if there isn't, or if it's in the works, please let us know what state it's in, and if there's something we need to tell the public about it. Because I feel like this discourse is important in the sense that it is helping to shape what will be the reality for the next 20 years. I don't see this changing. I don't see migration changing.
No, it won't change.
So it's something we should.
Unless we fix our country.
There's no country that has been fixed. But even countries that have been fixed, that people still migrating. So what we're saying is that we need a forward-looking policy on migration generally, and then a policy on migration of health professionals, which policy can then evolve as the market conditions change. And I feel a lot of the things that have been said, Samens, you yourself, Godfrey, can go into that policy. So if any of the government people listening have a policy draft or a discussion on migration of health professionals, please let us know so we can input some of these things. We'll come back with your comments. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Each year, 18,000 children are born in Ghana with sickle cell disease, and 1 in 3 Ghanaians have the sickle cell trait. Many discover their sickle cell genotype only after the birth of a precious child with the condition. But do you know that sickle cell disease can be prevented? It starts with knowing your genotype. Do you also know that sickle cell is not a death sentence? With early diagnosis and the right medical care, some are living to celebrate their 90th birthdays. That is why the International Sickle Cell Center and Airtel Tigo are pushing the Touching Lives initiative to raise awareness. My name is Dr. Mary Anson. Get tested to know your sickle cell genotype. To learn more, visit www.iicc.international.
This initiative is brought to you by the International Sickle Cell Center, ISCC, in partnership with Airtel Tigo Touching Lives.
Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
Bet365 is now officially available in Ghana. When you place a pre-match multi-bet on football, you go get bonus up to 70% to your winnings if your bet is successful. You can choose from markets like full-time results and both teams to score, from selected competitions including the Premier League, Champions League, and much more. Get this great offer when you visit the official site at bet365.com.gh. Over 18s only. Terms and conditions apply. Please gamble responsibly.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
Abrabo nyina ne wana montu asitra mu konim die nyina gyina osuo enso se wan kent ma etra ye de so da ye mpo kafra enframa de hu pade a onyo ensa anya dmanso ensa na didio kre manifesta dance any mafutu eti waso pem ne bebo
see how they slack worry about all the things that they lack. Young, gifted, and black. Gift a gap and I rap. I suppose I should clap.
But on a more serious note, I think that we need to take our professionals very, very seriously. We need to invest a lot more in their training.
Bring to life our dreams.
And we need to make sure that they get the right level of training. I still cannot take my mind away from 2,000 students in engineering, 13 burettes. It's not good. They will do 2x4 work. Let's read some comments.
Bernard, just before, you hear politicians say how they have increased the student intake in SHS, right?
Yes.
How they have universities have expanded.
Yes. To what end?
When did you hear politicians say how we've increased the number of institutions that train teachers?
Yeah, that's the question. No, we'll give them
how we've increased the budget.
No, we'll give them
allowance.
Teacher training allowance.
Wait, you see,
allow. You are right. The thing that will generate the quality, we are not interested.
Sidestep the thing.
You are right.
We are jubilating.
You are right. Over the non-essentials. So it's more like create the institutions that can do quality training.
Exactly. I mean, why can't we do this? Go look, while you're traveling, we mean because of Heritage Caravan, once you leave the Bono, halfway through the Bono, that side, going up north, vast lands, major communities begging for investment.
Nothing.
Begging. I mean, go to the outskirts of Tamale Yendi Road, Tamale Bolga Road. You know, why can't we put some of these things there just to change the local economy?
Charlie, but there's a message here that is very disturbing. This gentleman, you know him. He said, Bernard, a lot more people are finding it strategic to strike acquaintances or marry nurses as a sure way to migrate to the US, UK, Canada, and Australia on proper documentation. Bernard, the situation is very dire.
Well, I believe that.
This guy is a financial guy. So they are marrying for economic purposes.
Yeah, I'll believe that.
Because if you're...
It means nurses are in high demand.
Now when you are going, they tell you that your husband is assured of a job.
So your husband is your dependent?
Yes.
So come on.
Yes. But even here, City, we found some.
Come on.
Go. People
No, but don't say that thing. We say that thing well.
No.
Come on, let's go. You see, the
shall not expose identity.
Come on. The reality, however, is that when you get there, because of the appetite to overwork, because locum day plenty, so you might not even find your wife by your side. When the weather
I hear that some couple, when the woman and the husband, they are not even talking.
Yeah.
Because the woman says some old people's home, be where Charlie,
because every single day, even when you should be resting.
Papa Lewe, he's also doing the same thing. No, Charlie, Charlie. Me, who can he?
They are looking for money.
We are looking for moolah.
You know what? That be the issue.
You can kill old people them something.
We really need to institutionalize these relationships because, look, like I said, other countries have gone ahead. Mr. William Ofori he said that Egypt took this turn, and now they even have surplus doctors
in the system.
Mm-hmm.
Because they train at least 10,000 doctors every year.
Mm-hmm.
You get me?
10,000.
Yes.
Charlie, people are taking the thing serious.
If you go to the Gulf states,
they are all over the place.
A lot of the doctors you see, you know, every fit doctor you meet may have come from Egypt.
That's serious.
So they are exporting. Why not? Some countries are exporting IT professionals. Why can't we do same? And the thing is that because we can't stop it from happening, that one.
I want to play something for you guys. You know, our Western regional correspondent was in Italy last 2 weeks, in Palermo. And he came across some Ghanaians talking about Abrochire Nkomo. It gives some perspective to the economic summons did about £27,000, 10,000 will go here, 2,000 go here, and why they still go and do the things they do. So let's hear that, and then we'll hear from some nurses quickly. So let's hear that.
As the capital city of the Sicilian region of Italy, with a population of over 600,000, Palermo also has a large Ghanaian community numbering over 2,000 population.
Beside me here is one of the Ghanaian restaurants where most Ghanaians in town actually come to eat Ghanaian meals. I have actually come to this very restaurant to just interact with Ghanaians coming here to eat on how life is over here and what they have to say about what they hear from home.
We all want to come home. When we gather money here, although we are sending money to our parents, to our family, and so on, but how can we say come when we don't get good news from home? Like I say, we see when we look at our internet and sometimes we look at this social media. It's so unfortunate. Things are not going well. I think in Ghana, what we hear in Ghana, and that makes us all so sad here, because Italy here, we work hard here, hard working here. And when you get your hard working money, you just will send money for your family and you cannot come home. It's very unfortunate.
The economy, so yet in the almost economy, it was too much high. Bibia obetobia, it was sorrow. Bibia obetobia, it was sorrow. Bibia obetobia, it was sorrow to Adiana, Adiabet no my, the Omatum. And he said, Menkamestra say government in the and ye be form, said a bear, Ubia, who bear her hand.
Say, Crano, and no my intimate no maybe. What's me a norma? Against one box, but me has €100. Na 100 no man kwa esa bisa wo koton ana sa wo de koma wo medo afa so be na wo se wo de ko wo ka wo mu se eye Ghana hot sika ya baji wo mu se sika na ade na mo de ye oman e se mu ye nyina ya adwen ye pe so na corruption bebre na ekoso no emwa because sika na mo je oport sign na eko oman nim eko office kuma bibie tu afa post office enti media meka se aban no o se mo gina ne ehun se support no post office no say this kind of enkofo obi nsem be sika no ukotu ama we na de ko office we ansa aban ni benya bi ne sika no ketu abi na ba akofo amen enti yesere mo ba bi anwe krom ha no ma ye den me ba krom na anwa €1.50 so €1.20 and anwa €3 enti sane Ghana ya den sa na ha ya den bada ha no eno ma bi ewo fom kakra de but sane no ma akofom ti empani fon to no ma ya sanso na Ghana be yi.
I therefore set out to the street of Palermo to speak to some Ghanaians and those busily trading.
Bene, grazie, non compro niente. Io costo Ghana ndi se dis kana ofi on dis kana do. Asu ye bre, kwese awo bebrebe ya me timu pa, me twan de hwe gwa mo hwe, se de me sia hwe mo be ka sai yi. Enti no se de costo Ghana ndi anu odin, enti o mo hwe no mo nye bibi eye maye. Se ye container na se de ko Ghana na ye kwa koyi a. Beauty no anu odin. Omo mpani omo modia so be hwe beauty no wo ye ni ya maye se de be ya e betim di ne mampa fo hu ne mam na petrol sam no so no motete ne ma bebre so maye na ete ebusuafo no so no mo so enye obakuma to mo yem se de bia ye wa akotu ni adwuma ye wa ha na yo mu e kole ye saa esa ne so ye tete ni ti kra na ye so ya ka akwantu phone man ma kofu ba ye na so akwantu fo ye so ti mi refie
obi from a crown power so US so to me boa me nyoma mu ye de ne papa yare ba oni ska adwuma mu kra adwuma companies bebre egu inti sabane sana e ma yen so e wa akwantu mu no yeah because ye hwe sen nyoma ye koso o yankasa ye krom po ye dimpo say yankasa ye betumi akọ back to ye krom because wo da kra won to me nda.
The president of the Ghanaian community in Palermo told me what he's doing to support Ghanaians living in the city.
Any problem that is having, any immigrant is having, when he comes here, we have the solution from the stay permits to residence and then also to citizenship. Anything that an immigrant wants to have, when you come here to my office, As the chairman of the Ghana Association, I saw that there was a need to open this office to help the community. And I've opened this committee since 2 years, and it's been quite impressive that getting the results, been able to get many solutions to much of the problems that the community is facing.
So those were Ghanaians in Palermo. Yeah, Palermo, Charlie. Wonderful stuff. A few more comments on this subject.
Yeah, this one says, interesting discussion on the migration topic. I generally agree with the points on the potential benefits we can enjoy as a country if we manage this as an export resource. However, when it comes to comparing salaries of doctors and medical personnel, especially doctors in the US, you have to consider the huge debt they service as student loans for their training to become doctors. The reason we see the huge disparity in net pay for our doctors who leave to the US is because they do not have this debt overhang as their training here is largely subsidized by the local government.
Okay.
My wife is a nurse, and what she takes home is so sad. I always laugh at her that an offsider on a drilling rig on a mine who doesn't have a degree earns twice what she does. What hurts after all the stress she went through to get a degree in nursing? It was only 200 cedis that was added to her salary. All right, Kwame from Laboni sent that. This one says, I'm an optometrist. I graduated in 2017. In a class of 27, about 15 of us are all working abroad. Most of us left because the system in Ghana was frustrating. We didn't get postings. We tried setting up individual clinics. The bureaucracy killed us, so we left. Some of us settled for as low as $1,000 per month. Relatively, it is better to work in a system that promotes and respects your craft. Raymond, who's in Botswana. See, this one says, I think one of the questions we need to ask our authorities is why nurses have to stay home after they are training for a long period of time before they get posted. I feel that is very frustrating for the nurses. I understand some trained nurses have to stay at home for 5 years or more before their postings are confirmed. And then Eko Ando says, please tell Samens what one will classify as poverty on foreign land is thereby riches in Ghana. Okay.
They will go. They will go. They will go and do the work. All right, so I think the point has been made that we have to properly approach this as a country so we can increase the benefit for all. And if there's a policy document, let's see it. If there isn't one, we should be putting one together. Thank you guys for giving us a great discussion. Sky, for your recovery.
Yeah. Me, I'm just concerned. You see, I'm not saying that don't travel.
Patriotic.
My concern is that, look, if all of us are leaving,
that's why
your mother will be left here without a nurse.
That's why we
the last person will shut the light.
That was the Citi Breakfast Show. Coming up next is Brunch in the City. And before that, City News at 10. City News at 10 with Caleb.